and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wishful Thinking Podcast. It's your boy Nick O'Connor here. We got
Hadley.
And then we got my buddy, known him for a long time, Mitch Mickovic. How did I say that? Was that good? Or Mickovic. So that's the Croatian way, right?
Yeah, Croatia, Slovenia.
And so the American way is Mickovic.
Mickovic.
Yeah. All right.
Either way, whatever rocks your boat.
Again, welcome to the Wishful Thinking Podcast. I've known this guy for a while now. Very successful in his industry. We're going to talk a little bit about him, what he does in particular, and then we're going to go from making money, mindset, gym, hustle, everything in that kind of boat, balancing with family and so on. So let's have a good conversation, man, and we'll keep it kosher. Yeah. So you want to give us a little bit about who you are, what you do?
Yeah. So my name is Mitch Mickovic, Mickovic. Born and raised in Twinsburg, Ohio. I grew up in Aurora Shores.
Okay.
If you're familiar where that is.
Absolutely.
Parents got divorced when I was 6. Dad was a drinker and an alcoholic.
Oh, man.
Things go downhill pretty quickly.
For sure.
At 6 years old, moved in with my papa and nana on my mom's side, the Italian side. That's when you see the Sunday pastas and all the family stuff, the Italian stuff.
I see that on social media every once in a while.
With the help of my papa, 75-year-old man, smoked 2 packs of cigs a day, old school Italian gangster in Cleveland. And then my grandma and my mom, basically raised by those 3. And, without those 3, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today. I think a big reason to the little bit of success that I've had is how you're brought up.
Right.
And I feel like your childhood has a really, really big part of the things that you're able to handle once you hit adulthood and the things that you can't handle. The real world's kind of sick and it's cold and you either get it or you don't get it.
I agree. And
definitely.
I think that, there's a lot of statistics behind single parent households and stuff like that. And the numbers don't lie. When you have just, maybe one parent or a divorced relationship or whatever, you are more susceptible to becoming, drug addicted, alcohol addicted, susceptible to poverty, anything. Mm-hmm. So you clearly aren't a victim of that.
I used to party.
Well, people party, right? we all party, okay? We all. Yeah. If you don't party, then I think that you need to start partying, right?
Yeah.
Because
to an extent,
right? Everybody parties. We've all probably, done a few things that we may regret or whatever. But overarchingly, you seem to have your shit together. You seem to, you have a good relationship. You make money. You enjoy life. You're not one of those people that are stuck in a bad cycle.
Yeah, I'm blessed.
So, how did you get there? So, let's start in the beginning here. Mm-hmm. So, where'd you go to high school?
Twinsburg
High School.
Yep.
I went to Nordonia, so you and I are technically rivals.
Rivals,
yep.
Wow. And Hadley, you went to
Bedford.
Okay.
So we're all in the same general area.
Yeah.
We're in the suburbs.
Northeast Ohio.
Suburbs of Cleveland, Northeast Ohio.
Yep.
Did you go to college?
I did.
Where'd you go to college?
I got a wrestling scholarship to Notre Dame College.
Wow.
It's a Division II NCAA school.
So you're a wrestler.
They actually shut down the school last June.
Really?
Yeah, they closed the college.
How do you feel about Cleveland State shutting down wrestling?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Northeast Ohio is such a staple for the sport of wrestling, and Ohio in general. It's one of the top 3 states in the entire country.
Right.
So to get rid of a wrestling program like that at Cleveland State,
that's huge.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's bad. I used to wrestle in high school.
Really?
So yeah.
Cool.
What weight class were you?
Man, I was 103, 112, 119, 132.
Wow.
I went to Notre Dame, redshirted at 49, and then wrestled 65 the remaining 4 years.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I used to cut a lot of weight.
That's you're not anywhere near that right now. You're kind of jacked.
I'm 220, 222.
Wow,
I'm a big body now.
Yeah, you're a big boy now. You're wow, that's a long way.
That's crazy, actually.
So Twinsburg wrestling, and then you went to Notre Dame on this scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
You did all 4 years there?
Did 5.
5.
Yeah. So unless you were starting your freshman year, you were forced to take a redshirt year.
Okay.
So I redshirted my freshman year, and then did 5 full years.
So what did you major in?
I got my degree in political science with an emphasis in criminal justice, and I picked up a minor in philosophy.
Wow. That's some deep stuff. And that doesn't correlate to what you do at all right now.
maybe the philosophy,
philosophy.
psychology a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you have to know a little bit of that to sell.
Yeah,
and to
psychology is
understand
sales.
Absolutely.
Sales is psychology.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. So you went into that. Was that something you had a passion for?
No, man. So how it really like happened. So I was like a first gen from my family to go to college. My dad went to Miami of Ohio for a semester, got into boozing and doing the wrong things. He dropped out. My mom started doing hair and nails right out of high school. She went to Mayfield, and I was the first person. I'm the oldest of 3 boys. Mike and Matt are younger than me. So I was the first person to go to college. So my entire mentality and focus was to get a degree for my mom. Like, I'm getting a degree. I wasn't the best student, but I was good at like talking and critical creative thinking. I was always good at English and social studies,
Right.
terrible at science and math.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it paved its way to poli-sci, because I kept avoiding the math classes. And then one day my professor, Dr. Matthews, shout out Eric Matthews, the GOAT, he called me into his office. He's like, Mitch, like, you can keep running from these math classes, but like, you can't hide. You're going to have to take these math classes. So then I ended up taking college math. Jean Christian, Sister Christian, she was great. She helped me out a ton. And then I think the next math, I basically chose a major where I would do the least amount of math. And that's how it kind of created into political science, criminal justice. Didn't really want to be a cop. My mom said I'd be a good lawyer because I'm good
I
at
can
like
see that.
arguing,
You're
you
good
know?
at talking.
Good at
You're
talking.
very,
Yeah.
You're very convincing.
Yeah.
And you're Italian
Yeah.
and Croatian.
Yeah. And that's kind of how it went down. And then my junior year, I took PH 480, which was psychology, with Ken Palco. He was the man. And I just kept taking every semester the PH course higher than the previous because it was really interesting to me.
Right.
I used to smoke a bowl and go to, psychology, and I used to go to philosophy, and we'd be talking about Marcus Aurelius and the Stoic way of life, and
Right.
I just get into this like mentality, and I'm like, dude, like I love this philosophy stuff. So I ended up taking a course after course after course, and then he's like, Mitch, hey, like you're only 2 credits away from picking up a minor. Like you might as well take PH 580. I'm like 100%. So that's how I got the minor.
Okay. So
Damn, that's what's up though. That philosophy, like I'm really into that too.
Love
to be
it.
honest. Like that's sweet. Like do you get into a lot of like reading? Like you like
Do a lot of reading, do a lot of podcasts. Definitely like in the morning, like mind, body, spirit is like a big thing, kind of transitioning into like the business. But it was just always interesting to me. I used to love, so like my male role model was my grandfather, and he was an old man, and I always just observed the way that he held himself and how he spoke to other people and how he lived his life and stuff. So I always felt like an old soul.
right.
You know what I mean? For some reason.
That's unique
yeah.
in today's day and age because the new kids and everybody else, we're so different than them. I think it's important to have a male figure in your life, somebody who can guide you. I think that's important for everybody. If you don't have a father, find a male figure that you can look up to, whether it's in a book, whether it's in a podcast, whether it's in a movie or an uncle, anybody.
somebody
Find a male
that's setting
figure.
positive example.
Yes, 'cause
somebody that you can
As
actually
as a young, developing, and impressionable male,
Mhm.
you need some sort of male figure that can help guide you in the right direction. Otherwise, you can totally spiral.
or at least some type of idol. I wouldn't say somebody to necessarily lead you, because I know a lot of people who are like fatherless and like don't really have a dad, don't want somebody
Right.
to come in and project themselves onto you. You know what I mean? As for me, like when I didn't have a dad growing up, I didn't want, you know, the how they get like your mentors and people to come and try to like talk to you and do that. Some people shy away from that, and I think I was one of those people where like, you know what, I don't need that. I could do it myself. But it was always good to have some type of like somebody to look up to from afar.
Right.
Somebody that I could like how you said your grandfather. Like I kind of resonate with that as
And
well, because I
that's-
grew up with my grandma.
Same here, and I didn't have a father. It was my mom and my grandpa, right?
Yep.
So her father, that was the person that taught me just about everything until he got sick, and you know, ultimately, whatever. But it's good to have some sort of fatherly figure, some type of male essence to guide, because we're men, right?
Right.
If you don't have a man to guide you, there's a lot of things that only a man can teach a man. You can't go to your mom to teach you how to shave
Right.
specific areas. You can't go to your mom to teach you how to get girls.
Tie a
right?
tie.
Tie a tie.
Right.
Yeah.
You could YouTube it now, but back in the day, we didn't have
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, nothing.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we had YouTube a little bit, but like
1G, 2G data.
we had a little bit of technology, but
Yeah, it was nothing like.
we couldn't go to ChatGPT and just figure everything out in 30
Isn't that
seconds.
crazy how like people just get on ChatGPT and they'll literally talk to ChatGPT because people are so lonely nowadays.
Yeah.
That's
Like
Out of
us as
loneliness.
kids would play capture the flag, ding dong ditch, egging houses. Like,
Even just tossing the pigskin in the street. Like,
man,
get outside. They
I was
don't
never
go
home.
outside.
I
like
know.
in the summer, it's 8 a.m. I'm on my bike, opening up the garage. I'm going to Labry's house, Vince Ferris's house, rolling up to Buckeye's house. We're playing baseball in the lot, like the sand lot, and I
Yeah.
don't come home until
Like
9
the
o'clock at
Sandlot.
night. It's insane.
yeah, I mean, and I'll full disclosure, I mean, I'll openly admit I use ChatGPT all day, every day.
Yeah.
But in terms of business, right? Like, instead of me sitting here crunching numbers, chat, figure out these numbers for me. Chat, throw this into an Excel doc. Chat, figure out this table point. I use it a lot for reducing my work.
It's a great supplement.
Yeah, but you still have to check things over. You
For
can't
sure.
just trust the robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
You know, so you talked about books, podcasts. Off the top of your head, can you give me 2 books that you'd recommend to our audience?
Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just read that. That's a great book.
Think and Grow Rich is a really, really good one. Another podcast that is really, really big that resonates with the business that I'm in, it's The Grindcast by Simon Arias.
Okay.
Get ready, it's a new day. Grind.
Okay.
And get ready, it's a new day.
That's good.
Oh, that is good.
It's fire.
Good acronym.
That's fire. I'd have to
Fire,
look into
yeah.
that just because of the name.
Yep. Definitely tap in with Simon. He's the GOAT. He's one of my mentors.
Really?
Yeah, he's an SGA in Pennsylvania, out in Wexford. And I was introduced to the Grindcast by someone else that's in the business, Andrew Siebert. I was in training in Kentucky back in September 2017 when I first started working at American Income Life, because before the pandemic, we were a field force. So I had to drive to clients'
Really?
houses.
Wow.
I was putting, 40, 50,000 miles a year on my car, living out of motels, Holiday Inns. I had no time to be here. It was all the grind. Then COVID
Wow.
happened, and then now we went
Fully remote.
fully virtual.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
So we'll get into AIL,
Yeah.
AIL in a second. There's two things I want to ask you beforehand. Is there a mainstream podcaster that you're a fan of? Like the Patrick Bet-Davids,
I'm
the
really
Joe Rogans of the
into-
world, Andrew Tates or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm really, really on like a Wes Watson kick right
Really?
now.
Okay.
Yeah, like I just vibe with Wes. He
I like
calls
Wes.
it how he sees it.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about your feelings. Like the truth hurts sometimes, and he fucking tells the truth.
I
And
like
a lot of people need to hear the truth.
I respect that.
Oh, yeah.
But definitely do like your Bible reading before, do your meditation before, because if the first thing you start listening is to Wes Watson yelling in your headpiece right when waking up, your day's gonna be kind of crazy. I
Yeah.
feel like.
So you got these degrees.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get introduced to AIL? How did you get introduced, and then were there any indicators that led you into this industry?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, excuse me. At the time when I was at Notre Dame College, I was a freshman, and one of my teammates at the time, his name's Derek Four. He was a senior. He went to Wadsworth, and in Northeast Ohio in the wrestling community, everybody kind of knows of everybody. So I knew him going into Notre Dame, and he graduated. He's like 5 years older than me, and I saw him on Facebook, and he had a house in Maple Heights, and then he bought a house in Twinsburg, and then he had a Corvette, and then he got an Infiniti, and I'm like, what's going on?
What's this guy doing?
Yeah, and he was a criminal justice guy like myself, so we had like classes with Kelly Cronin, and I'm like, there's no way a cop can afford like that nice of a house in Twinsburg
Right.
on the golf course and all this stuff. So I reached out to him. And this was like my junior year, and he was telling me what he was doing at this company, and he was like really heavily like trying to recruit me, and it was kind of like turning me off. And I was like, dude, like relax, bro. Like I don't want to be a part. Like I'm just curious. Like what do you do for work? You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's like, we're hiring this and that. You know, any sales job is always hiring. They're always looking for people that
Absolutely.
are good communicators and hiring. And I was like, dude, like let me just focus on school. let me like get my degree, and then we can like reassess at that point if you guys are still hiring. So like 2-3 years went by, got my degree, graduated. And I thought after you get like a college degree, like you'd be getting calls from employers like, hey, we saw you graduated. Like, you got a $70,000 job here, you know.
Not like that at all.
So like nothing happened. And then he reached out to me. He was persistent. It was like, hey, man, like you graduated. Like, come check it out. You got nothing to lose.
Right.
And at the time, like when I wasn't training in the summer for wrestling and working out and stuff, I was a landscaper. So I was like cutting grass, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, I got nothing to lose, man. I'm 21, 22 years old. I just graduated. Like, I'll go check this stuff out. So I go up to the office. This is our old office, 12301 Ridge Road in North Royalton. And I pull into this office, and there's like Bentleys, there's Aston Martins, there's Ferraris, Range Rovers. And I'm like, what is this place? Then I get into the office, and then I see all these like alpha, no diddy, like good looking dudes, you know, dressed up, suited and booted, smelling good, Gucci belts, Louis V, the Dior's, everything. And they're all happy and they're smiling. And I come from, you know, like a town in Aurora Shores, single mom, like usually like you don't see that many nice cars. It's like Hondas and Toyotas. So when I saw the cars, I'm like, okay, that's a checkbox.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah,
that's a good sign. You know, and then like the personality and like the mindsets of these guys, they're all happy. So I was like, there must be some realism into this position because people are happy being here. So then that kind of led me to get into a second interview with the company where I came in for a Monday bonus meeting, and every Monday we have a bonus meeting. So we get paid twice a week. We get our weekly paycheck and then our weekly bonus check. So we get paid 8 times a month.
Now, is the bonus like a commission check, basically?
The bonus is a percentage based off of that previous week's production in business.
Nice.
So I went in for a bonus meeting, and I'm in there, and there's dudes on chairs drinking Monsters. It's like a Wolf of Wall Street, like, aura.
Damn,
and I'm
nice.
like, dude, this is nuts. Like, what is going on in here? I didn't even know it was an insurance company. I was told it was benefits.
And for those you don't know, AIL is big. They're part of Globe Life, right? You got the Globe Life Arena. That's where Florida.
Globe Life is in Texas.
My apologies, but Globe Life's a bigger company. You know, like you guys are massive.
We're the official life insurance company for the Dallas Cowboys, the Texas Rangers, Atlanta Braves, FC Dallas, the soccer club, and recently just picked up the LA Lakers.
So very, very large.
It's the largest life insurance company in the country.
Wow.
With more policyholders than any other company.
All right, so you walk in this Wolf of Wall Street office.
Yeah.
You see Range Rovers, you see Bentleys, maybe a Lamborghini, who knows? You see all these guys probably dressed in nice suits, smelling well, Gucci belt. You're like, okay, I could see myself doing this, at least on the surface level. You see these guys are making money, so you know it's not a joke.
To be honest, Nick, I had no idea what the job was. I just saw the money.
And you're like, let's go.
I had no idea what these guys even did, but I just saw the money.
Like, it doesn't matter.
And I'm like, I don't even care.
I don't care.
Right. Yeah. Sold.
But it's crazy how I got hired on, because after that bonus meeting, I got taken to Brent Bowling's office, who was an RGA at the time, and he was killing it in the company.
What is RGA? Can you explain some of those acronyms for me? Because I follow a lot of you guys on social media. Like, I know Santino. I went to school with Santino. You, obviously. Now, you guys have recruited a lot of people I know, so I see a ton of people.
Yeah.
SGAs. And what are these?
Yeah.
Like, what's an SGA?
It's a state general agent.
Okay.
So that's like what Simon is.
Okay.
And then our SGAs is Jim Surace, Marcus Smith, Matt Parks, Mark Selvaggi. So we're part of the SSPS agency. And then under SGA is RGA, which is Regional General Agent.
Okay.
Under RGA is MGA, Master General Agent, GA, General Agent, SA, Supervising Agent, and then Career Agent. Everyone starts at a career agent at this company. That's the great part about it. You take the opportunity where you want to take it. You take it where you want to take it.
Now, this is a commission only?
100% commission sales.
So for those of you who don't know, you can get into a sales role that'll give you a base salary, right? And they'll give you anywhere from a 1% to a 10% commission on the sale. And that's of your gross profit, right? That's not of what you sell. That's the profit after your burden, after your expenses. So you sell $1 million, but only 200 of that is gross profit. Let's say you make a 10%, you can do the math, but you're doing commission only. So you're not getting a base salary. You're getting elevated commission percentages, I would assume, to supplement that. But part of what goes into that is there's probably that, at least when you first started, like, okay, I'm not getting a paycheck every day. I'm not getting a paycheck every week. I have to sell. Was that a little bit concerning or scary?
Yeah, like a little anxiety.
So like, I don't know if I can like, can I swear on here? Like,
Yeah.
can I keep it
Fuck
real?
yeah.
I can
Do
keep
whatever
it
the
real.
fuck you want.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
So at the time, I was in college, and when you come from like a single mom that doesn't have the needs or the resources, and you kind of want the nice things in life, you'll do whatever.
Right.
Like you'll do whatever. So like I started getting into like drugs a little bit, you know what I mean? And I knew a lot of people, and I had a big network, right? And it started with like weed, you know what I'm saying? And I'd basically buy from the plug, you know, a big amount, and I had all the clientele. They didn't know that I was really close with the plug. The plug didn't know I had the clientele. So it's like an A, B, C. A didn't know C, but they both knew B, and B was me. So my mentality was like, okay, I understand the simple math of a flip.
Right.
If there's more positives than negatives, you're in the green. If there's more negatives than positives, you're in the red.
Right.
So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm selling weed, I'm cutting grass, I'm smoking grass. I'm like, dude, I got nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like the type person, like, I've made a $20 bill last a full week before.
That's deep.
Like 2010.
That's deep.
Like,
yeah.
bro, think about it. Like, McDonald's, they used to have the dollar menu.
Yep.
You know, the full
yeah.
four at Wendy's. Like,
Yep.
I know you guys know that. Like,
For
nowadays, you can't even get a McDouble for less than $3.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
$3 menu
So it's
anywhere.
different now. But the mentality,
Even McDonald's is so expensive now.
it's expensive.
Everything.
A dinner box is like $24. Remember when they first came out? It was like $10.99.
Yeah.
Why not? Easy. No more dollar tacos.
It's
at
expensive.
Taco
It's
Bell.
like luxury now.
Yeah.
Like you're almost better going out to like a
Uh-huh.
regular restaurant than just buying McDonald's because of how expensive McDonald's is. Like it's not budget friendly anymore.
No.
No, you're spending $30 if you go to McDonald's.
Yeah. So to answer your question, so the great thing about our company is agents don't pay for leads. So we're the only 100% union labeled life insurance company in the world. Because we have these relationships and a PR team, we've been working with labor unions for the last 74 years. Teamsters, firefighters, police officers, United Steelworkers, iron workers, janitors, anybody that's a government job that pays union dues, we are the entity that handles their permanent life insurance. So I came and I was educated on the opportunity. Don't have to pay for E&O insurance. I don't have to pay for office space.
What's E&O, air and emission?
Yeah, like E&O insurance if you're a life
For
insurance
those who
agent.
don't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the big thing was like leads. Like you don't have to pay for leads. We provide you the leads, the scripts, the systems. It's just based off of your hustle, how much you want to make.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, so like I'm getting fronted these leads,
Right.
Right.
right? You know what I'm
You
saying?
don't
Like
even gotta find them.
I don't even got to find them. I'm
just-
giving them
It's like you're the plug and then somebody's giving you customers. Hey, my buddy needs blank.
100%.
Yeah.
So you
So
got
which
it.
was even in my head, you know, from selling weed, I had to go find the customers. I had to get money up front to pay the plug.
Right.
Or get really close with him. He'd front me, but then I'd be nervous going to bed. Like, I owe this dude this amount of money. I
Yeah.
got to get the clients. I was given the product, and then I was also given the clients to serve the product too.
Yeah.
So I'm
You
like,
just had to connect the dots.
I'm like, even if this takes me 3, 4, 5, 6 months, half a year to figure it out, I just got to know what that dude knows, say what that dude says, do what that dude does, and I'm going to make what that dude makes.
Is it almost like a monologue?
A monologue is in.
where you're like it's brainless to you now. You could just go
Oh.
in on a call and just boom. It's
It's like riding a bike, man. It's that's why like the the big thing, like people that really succeed in like sales is like athletes, because there's so many parallels with business and sales and like sports. All the GOATs like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Brian Dawkins, Tom Brady, these guys understand sacrifice, and they understand that sacrifice creates opportunity, and what you do in the dark will come to light. It's the same thing in sales. Are you studying your scripts? Are you mastering your rebuttals? Are you mastering your closes? Are you educating yourself on the product knowledge? You know, are your rebuttals and your pre-buttals on point? Is your verbiage on point? Are you saying, do you not sound confident? Are you not coming off as like a
Yep.
professional, educational person, right?
Yep.
So it's like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And being, you know, a college wrestler, it's like, okay, dude, I've had to cut 8 pounds in 7 hours before. I'm given the leads. What's the worst that could be told to me is no.
Mm-hmm.
right.
And then I have a ton more other leads to see.
Well, it's interesting you say that, and you obviously, you know, I do sales I've done sales for multiple different companies. I do all types of sales. The way I sell is if you have a good product, you don't have to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know how to sell and you know people, then it's almost like instantaneous, you know? So, I mean, that's incredible. And to be successful in sales, you have to be able to take rejection.
Yep.
If you get a no, which you're going to have more no's than yeses, am I correct?
Yep.
You're probably going to get 10% yeses and 90% no's.
Yep.
Maybe 80-20, but you have to be able to take that no and you have to keep going.
Yeah.
Because if you stop on the first no, you're going to start to crumble. You're not going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to get in your own head. You're going to be like, you know what? Who cares? It's just the person. They might have told me no, but next person.
What really made it like real for me is when I came in for like the interview and I saw all these people making money. I was handed over my contract by Brent and he's like, just sign here. We'll start your onboarding. And I'm like, nah, dude, like, I'm cool on all this. Like, I don't know what the fuck you guys got going on here, but like, this seems too good to be true. Like, show me somebody that's like brand new, that's like young. Like, I want to see like results for like a young dude. So he gets up, he goes, yo, Giacchetti. This dude named Mikey Giacchetti was a dog. He used to work there. And he's like, yo, Giacchetti, come here. Calls him down the hallway. Giacchetti comes walking in. Mind you, this kid's like 17, 18 years old. I don't think he even got his GED. Okay?
Wow.
Comes walking into Brent's office, sagging his jeans. He's got a Louis V belt on. He's got a polo collar. It's popped. He's got braces, dog.
Wow.
Kid's got braces.
Wow.
Comes walking in. Brent goes, hey, yo, Giacchetti, you got a bonus check on you? Giacchetti goes, oh, hold up 1 second. Go trying to find this bonus check. Pulls out of his back pocket. It's crinkled. It's a crinkled check. Brent's like, how much was your bonus check? He's like, shit, like $1,600. He goes, okay, was that your monthly bonus, your quarterly bonus? Nah, it was a weekly bonus. He's like, all right, do you have your actual paycheck on you? He goes, yeah, hold up. How much was your paycheck? $3,400. So he goes, how much did you make this week? He's like, shit, like a light 4 bands. At that moment in time, I'm looking at this
For
dude.
1 week of work.
One week of work. Dude's
Wow.
18 years old, came and drink
Right.
alcohol. I'm looking at this dude, and he's standing right here, and Brent's right there. And I'm looking at this dude like, I'm like about to like punch him. Like the energy that I'm feeling, like, because he's like flexing on me kind of, you know what I mean? He's standing right here.
No, for sure.
Brent, you know, is his like boss. He's the OG. He's trying to close me to sign the contract to start working at this company, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this dude just comes walking up in here looking all like fugazi and shit. And I'm like, all right, if this dude could do this, like give me the pen. I'm like, where do I sign?
That's like
Right.
that's like that scene from Wolf of Wall Street for real.
was
He's
it.
like, show me a pay stub if you
Yeah,
make it
that was it.
70,000 1
Literally.
month. I work for you right now.
It was
I quit my
literally,
job.
and if Giacchetti was like in the field that day, or let's say he was sick and he wasn't in the office,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd be at AIL.
Wow.
Wow.
So you've been there for how many years now?
It'd be 8 years in September.
8 years. It's a long time. But
Long time.
Yeah.
so
Wow.
of those 8 years,
Mhm.
how long did it take you to really get to get your feet running, to really start to understand the business, really start to make money, really start closing deals? How long did it take? Because I know it's a grind,
Yeah.
but everything's a grind. Whether you sell life insurance, whether you sell tech, whether you start your own business, whether you do anything, it's always a grind, and you have to persevere through the tough spots. Otherwise, you're going to crumble, and if you crumble at anything, you'll crumble at everything. So how long did it take you to really get going?
Honestly, man, it took me like 3-4 months.
That's fair.
It took me 3-4 months because I was just chasing activity, you know, and like a lot of people, they're chasing the premium, they're chasing the money, but they don't understand if they just chase the activity and they get told no, a lot of times each no pushes you closer to the yes.
Yep.
So when I came to the company, like the blueprint was like, here's our product. Here's how many people say no. Here's how many people say yes. Here's how much you get paid off of the yeses. So to close one deal, you had to sit with 4 people. So it's a 25% close.
So you
this is
need
a company
more
average.
numbers.
So it's just data. This is a company average. We're an international company. And this is an average agent. I'm thinking, dude, I'm a dog. I'm gonna be better than average. But if it's 1 of every 4 is saying yes, that means if you sit with 12 people, 3 are gonna say yes.
Right.
Well, the average deal size is $400 to $600 profit. So you do the math. It's like, okay, if I sit with 12 people, 8 of them tell me no, 4 of them tell me yes, I'm gonna make $1,500
Mm-hmm.
next Friday.
Yeah.
Bro, a 21-year-old kid making $1,500 a week, $6,000 a month, that's bread. That's a ton of money.
Yeah.
That's more than enough
That's
money
like
needed.
70, 80 G's a year.
That's a lot of money.
That's living comfortably.
That's a lot of money. And at the time, I was living in Cleveland Heights with my brother Mike, my cousin Dominic, my old roommate Joey Davis. He was my classmate as well as my teammate who lives out in Compton, and Pat Harity. There was like 5 of us in this house in Cleveland Heights. My rent was like $250, $260. I had a Nissan Altima at the time. I didn't have a car payment. I was still on my mom's health insurance because I'm 21, 22, right out of college.
Right.
She paid for my cell phone. So like the only thing I needed money for was like my weed and Chipotle. Food, you know what I mean? Like I didn't need to make like a lot of money, right? So it's like even if I made $2,000 the first couple months, $500 a week, $500, $600, $700, $800 is what it took me to live comfortably for the month. So even making $25,000 a year, I felt like I was the man. And I was like, dang, dude. And now it's only going to be up from here because the more times I'm sitting with these clients, I'm learning as I'm failing forward. I'm not afraid to fail. A lot of people that fail in this business, they're afraid to go out and fail. They think they need to know all the answers first before they get out there. Like, nah, like you jump off the block and you dive headfirst in the water. You don't go up to the pool and you dip your toe in. Oh, it's cold.
Imagine if Michael Jordan stopped playing basketball, what he did to make his high school team. Right?
Exactly. It's crazy.
You know, and that's just a part of life, though.
Yep.
You can't look at a failure like a failure. How can I look at this failure, learn from it,
It's a lesson.
so it doesn't happen again?
It's a lesson.
It's a lesson. And the big thing is like, I'm not paying for the leads. That's what you don't understand. Life insurance agents spend anywhere from $15 to $39, $45 a lead. That's just
like
for a
money.
name. That's just for a name and a person to call.
It's low-key like free money almost.
It's free money.
Yeah.
If you have an internet and a computer.
And a no is a no. It's not a loss. You
A
didn't.
no is a no. And then on top of it, you talk about referrals. So like referrals is really the game changer. And with my team, I'm on Santino and Chris Montoni and Ian Zolis' team. So I was working with a group of guys for the last 7 years. Nothing personal, just strictly business. I felt like I hit a plateau. You know, me and my girl, me and Chrissy, you know, we're trying to start a family. Like I want to hit that next tax bracket.
Right.
I do well for myself. I do good. I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed. Every single morning I pray to God.
I saw you pull up on that Audi today.
You know, I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful for what I have. So like, don't get it twisted, but I want more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more.
Always.
You know what I mean?
Never get comfortable.
Yeah. So I felt like I had to, you know, make a decision, strictly a business move. And now I'm around a team of guys and a culture where referrals is really everything. And referrals is really going to be the differentiator between coming into this business making $80,000 your first year or coming into this business making $200,000 your first year. And it's all referrals. Referrals are the highest show ratio, they're the highest close ratio, and they're the highest average ALP per sale. So they're easier to sit with, they're easier to sell, and you make more money when you sell them. Why would I not sell referrals? This last week I went 12 for 18, and I closed 12 ref sales for just under 13,000 ALP. They're going to have me talk to the agency on Monday.
Wow.
And it's all refs. It's all refs. I don't want to sit down with the leads. Why would I want to sit down with the leads if you sent me to your boy Nick? Nick knows that I sat down with you. If I sat down with you and you gave me his name and number, you're automatically like, Mitch is a cool dude.
Yeah, exactly.
If my homie's giving him his number, it's word to mouth, right?
Word of mouth always wins.
It's like that in a lot of business, almost every business.
Yeah.
Whether you're a landscaper, whether you rent to people, then your name is everything, right? DJing weddings.
For sure.
It's huge. Like I'm at the age now where a lot of people are starting to get married, and it's all about reference. Oh my God, Nick crushed my wedding. Nick gave me the best night imaginable. He played all the songs I wanted to hear. He didn't play any bullshit.
Yep.
That is going to go so far when trying to book another client. Better than a bad reference, right? Oh, Nick was terrible. Oh, he wasn't really enthusiastic at all. He was kind of lackluster on the microphone.
Right.
You know? So references are huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Ref life, the best life. For real. Ref life, the best life.
I like that.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about the team. How does like the org chart break down? Because you guys are all making a ton of money. And you guys all kind of work,
a lot of families.
work together.
We're protecting a lot of families. We just get paid handsomely for doing it.
Yeah. For sure.
So the focus is on protecting families. We just get paid handsomely for doing it. But go on.
But I like the team aspect that you guys have. Like,
Yeah.
like you'll see you guys go on, like you guys are going to like a Hawaii or something, right?
We're going to Puerto Rico in 2 weeks.
Puerto Rico, but
Yeah.
they'll fly the
Nice.
whole company out, right?
Yep.
Hawaii,
Wow.
fly the whole company out, pay for everything, and your significant others,
Yeah,
right?
the top sales reps. We get a
And-
convention
and
every
your
year.
significant other,
Yep.
right?
Awesome.
And
Mhm.
then, but even if you guys go on friendly team trips, you have that remote lifestyle where you can go to Costa Rica, work remotely, close deals, but the whole team's going. You guys are renting out giant Airbnbs,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. So,
Damn, that's sick.
talk to me a little about the team.
Dude, the team is
Who's on your team? How many people on your team? What does that team look like?
Yeah, so the team is awesome. Chris Montoni really is like the backbone of all of this. Towards the end of last year, that's kind of when I was doing a lot of reflecting during the holidays when business tends to kind of slow down. And it's like, man, a new year's coming up. I want a brand new slate team. And he gave me a group of guys to lead and to mentor and to develop. And I'm one of the old heads on the team. I've between me and Ian, we're the only ones that have been there as long as we have the most tenure. And I'm also the oldest dude on the team. Like
Really?
my guys call me Unc. They refer to me as Unc.
And you're not
How old are
old.
you?
You're like,
How old are you?
I'll be 31 on Saturday.
like that's not old.
No.
But like, dude, the
Seasoned.
average age of like our team is like 18 to 22, 23. Like they're young, dude.
Why do you think that
Oh
is?
wow.
Young and hungry?
Young and hungry. They don't have a lot of overhead. They don't have a lot of bills, and they got nothing but time to make as much bread as they can.
Nothing to lose, really.
Got nothing to lose. Where like someone, who is pregnant with their second child and they have a mortgage, it's going to be difficult for them to leave a $90,000 a year job with health
Right.
insurance benefits, 401k, to take a risk in something where it's not promised.
So that's a
Right.
big thing is insurance.
Yeah.
You have to pay health insurance out of pocket, like
So we get we
private.
Yeah, so like you go through the marketplace and we get compensated up to I think $400 a month. So you pick your own health insurance plan, but we get reimbursed. So it's basically
Are they
paid for
partnered with people? Like, oh, you can go get it from this company at a discounted rate.
anywhere. I got my own medical mutual.
Oh,
Wow.
A couple people have Blue Cross Blue Shield,
so
Anthem.
all big
yeah.
companies.
That's
Yep.
what's up.
Yep, and you just get reimbursed that from the company each month.
Wow.
Yeah. But the
So the
team, man,
team.
yeah, the team is just like a bunch of like young, hungry dogs. Everybody's up at 6:30 in the morning doing mental development work, mind, body, spirit. We're reading the word. We're listening to podcasts. We're doing ice plunges. We're fasting. We're doing, apple cider vinegar shots. We're going on jogs together. We're talking. And then, 9 o'clock comes. From 9 to 12, we're on the phones. It's called a robe session. You're in your robe drinking your coffee like Soprano, robe session. 9 to 12, we're booking appointments. We're booking appointments for that day. 12 to 2, that's our break. Go to the gym, take out your dog, get some lunch, do some laundry. And then from like 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, we're in front of that laptop. We're getting appointments. We're selling families. We're making commissions. And that's what we run 7 days a week, dude. Sunday to Sunday. It's
So-
nonstop.
So is your team based on a state, based on a locality? Is it just based on people you know?
Yeah, so ever since the pandemic, now we can hire people from different states because prior to COVID, I could only hire people in Ohio, and I was driving in Ohio. Now I'm licensed in 9 different states across the Midwest. We're able to recruit in 49 states other than California. So
I know California.
I think it's just something with like a certain SGA in California.
Gavin Newsom or something.
Right?
That guy.
Yeah. But no, man, a majority of my team, Joe Benincaso is one of my essays. So I'm a GA in this hierarchy thing. Okay. Chris is our MGA. Joe Benincaso is one of my essays, and he's just recruiting all of his best friends, dude. And they're all from Connecticut, like Newark, Connecticut. They're like an hour away from like Brooklyn. They're near New York. They got like that East Coast, kind of a little New York,
Little twang to
they got some spice and sizzle to them.
Yeah.
But they're just a bunch of hustlers, bro. Just a bunch of dogs, man. And it's nice to be in a position where you actually feel appreciated for the value that you bring to the team. And there's always new people that are joining the Discord and getting hired. We're the fastest growing team in the entire agency. Is the Z unit.
Really?
Yes, with Chris and Ian. Santino, Payday,
Santino's
all
on
these
that?
guys. Yeah, Santino's on that.
Santino's. Remember when we ran the Akron?
Yeah, he was the
Marathon?
guy that was. Yeah, I remember.
Santino was there.
That's a cool dude.
Santino was fucking moving that day.
He's the man.
Yeah, he was.
Santino's. I went to high school with Santino, and then he started running and stuff like that. And we were, we didn't run together in Akron because he was moving a little faster than us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were kind of fresher into it. Santino's,
Definitely fresh.
yeah, but he's a cool dude. I'm actually gonna have Santino on the podcast too,
Yeah, Santino's the man.
and I'll be interested to see the correlation
Mhm.
between you and what Santino say
Yeah.
about AIL and about the
Yeah.
lifestyle, the teamwork, and all that. So it's gonna be interesting to me.
It will be,
Yes.
obviously.
Would you say that having this team that's all same mentality, hustle, grind, helps you?
Oh my God, it's like I feel reborn again. I feel like I got that spark again.
Yeah.
Like I feel more excited now than ever before, and I've been doing it for 8 years. You know, like in sales, you'll experience burnout. Like a lot of people will burn out,
Absolutely.
and it's like just like anything else. Like we refer it to like sports, like NFL, the National Football League actually means not for long. The average career length in the NFL is like 3 to 4 years. It's
Really?
not for long.
Wow.
Yeah,
Not for long.
makes sense.
So like you got to take care of not only like your mind, you got to take care of your body, you got to take care of your spirit.
Yep.
You got to make sure you have the stamina to work 12, 15-hour days. And if you're filling your body with McDonald's and a bunch of crap, you're not going to have that stamina. So that's why like mind, body, spirit.
I love watching some of the guys' stories because I mean, between obviously you and Santino are the two most prominent people I know, but
Mhm.
there's other people that I just follow just because
For
you
sure.
follow. Sometimes you follow people, you know,
100%.
they might have a cool car or something like that. But one of the funniest things that I love seeing because I've kind of taken it into my own habit is everybody's posting their like carnivore-ish meals.
Yeah.
Everybody's got steak, eggs, and avocados on a wooden cutting board.
Yeah.
And they're in front of a laptop
Yeah.
with a cup of coffee and like 20 guys. I love it.
Yeah, it's fine.
The hustle, man.
It's so
Internet
cheap.
money. It's Wi-Fi money.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's like, what do you got to lose? You get told no 3 times. You get told yes 1 time, but you make $380 off of that yes. How long would it take an average American to make $380, $400?
2, 3,
4
4
days.
Yeah.
$15
Every
an
4
hour,
days.
4 shifts.
Yeah, I mean,
You're doing that wearing your pajamas and your house slippers with a polo on and some blue light glasses.
So now are you 1099 or you W2?
$10.99.
1099. So you have to configure for taxes,
Correct.
writing stuff off.
Taxes, my financial planning, portfolio, 401k, IRA, money market, all that stuff. It's really kind of on you.
Yeah.
You can organize with your receipts
Yeah.
for taxes and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you have
Yeah.
the liberty and the creativeness to be able to figure out what fits in your business, what is an acceptable write off what you can, obviously, but then take it to the next level. You can make all this money. Let's say you make 150 G's a year.
Mhm.
You're making cash, no tax are getting taken out. You have to be diligent, right, to put away 20, 30%.
Yep.
For taxes, you putting it, I assume it's like maybe a high yielding savings account, something like that.
Yep, those, and then just like reinvesting it into the business.
Yeah.
Like paying for like billboards, paying for marketing ads, videos, people that do stuff like this, paying you. Now you're helping me grow my business. Therefore, it's a business expense. Therefore, I don't pay tax on that money.
Right.
So it's like it's a game. It's really all a game.
It's a game.
It's a game.
I'm gonna have a CPA friend come on in a little bit. He's high up CPA.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't understand the how to write stuff off. They don't really
Right.
understand it, and it's such a pivotal thing.
It's massive.
If you make $100,000 and your taxable liability is $100,000, but let's say you spend 50 grand, now you're only liable for 50 G's worth of tax.
Exactly.
Why would you not write stuff off? Why would you like? Oh yeah, I love Uncle Sam. Let me give him all my money.
yeah, no.
It's huge.
100%.
Maybe we'll have to do a segment when I get my CPA friend on here, or even just maybe you and I shooting the shit. But
Mm-hmm.
more people need to know about writing off things. What's an acceptable? What the IRS calls it, they deem it anything that's necessary and acceptable or reasonable.
Right.
So they can't particularly tell you what is necessary and deemable. You can get audited, of course, but in the grand scheme of things, let's say you have a client somewhere in the country. You got to fly out there. You got to meet them. Oh, you're going to take them out to lunch. Maybe you need a new outfit while you're out there.
Right.
You need a hotel. Maybe you need a rental car.
Yep.
All of that's a write-off.
Business expense.
Everything.
Yep.
People don't understand that.
They don't teach us that. They don't teach us taxes in school.
They don't
teach us the importance of life insurance in school. They don't teach us how to properly budget, how to properly save.
Yep.
No
How to,
finance
how to
skills.
no really financial skills whatsoever,
Whatsoever.
because after being out of college for 8, 9, 10 years now and looking at like this beast, because it's a machine, it's a sham to me. Unless you're like in the medical field or engineering or education, everything else is a bunch of hoopla. It's a bunch
I
of
agree.
bullshit.
I agree. Like, oh, let's go get this liberal arts.
It's a $60,000 4-year party.
Let's go get this
Yep.
communication degree.
You're paying $20,000 a year to party, pop Xannies, drink beers, black out with your friends. I don't really remember much knowledge from college. I do remember that I learned how to manage my time. time management was one of like the main staples that I learned in college. I have to be at this class at this time. And then after I have a swimming workout at this time. Then after that I have study tables at this time. And then I have practice at this time. And then after practice I have ice bath and then shower and then dinner at the dinner hall. Then I have a 7:30 p.m. class. So managing my time management, I feel like.
And I'm sure connections and networking too during college.
Big time. Big time. I met some of the coolest people you couldn't even imagine, man. The people that I met at Notre Dame College, this small little private Catholic institution, met some of the coolest people that I've ever came across in my life. Friendships that'll last a lifetime. Very grateful.
So to the person at home,
yeah,
would you recommend going and get that degree, or would you recommend taking the entrepreneur lifestyle?
Get in sales. Get into sales.
Because you don't need a degree to be in sales.
No, not at all.
No.
You don't need anything to get in sales.
I don't have a degree. I have an associate
Well, actually,
degree.
correction. You do need a degree to get into sales and be successful. You need a PhD. Poor, hungry, determined.
I like that.
And I had a PhD.
So you needed a degree of mentality.
Yeah, a degree of mentality.
it.
Poor, hungry, determined.
Yeah.
If you got the hustle, you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to grind, work long hours, you're going to get the result. It's just a matter of time.
And I agree with you. I think that school can be a scam if you're going to be, I'm going to be a communications major and blah, blah, blah. Sure. But if you're going to go into pre-med, if you're going to go be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, something of actual real substance, that's great.
Yeah.
I commend you for going to be a doctor. I have a lot of friends who just finished their podiatry program for Kent. That's great. They're going to be killing it for the rest of their lives, making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. Who knows? It's really an open ceiling if you can learn the business side of things.
Yeah.
But it's all what you want to do at home. You know, speaking to the viewers at home, would I recommend going and being a communications major or a liberal arts major for $20,000, $30,000 a year? No, I don't. But if that's what you want to do, I'm not going to stop you. Now when you can go join a sales job out of college or even out of high school, really. Some guys were not even graduated through high school.
Yeah.
Making
some didn't even get their GEDs.
6 figures a year.
It's crazy.
You know, so I guess for me, one of the biggest things in life is network. You got to know the right people. You got to be able to meet people. You got to know how to communicate. That's the epitome of everything. Sales, you got to be able to communicate. But if you can't communicate and sell yourself, like let's say you walked into that, the first time you walked in AIL, you saw all those cars. Let's say you were some kid who couldn't talk. You were like shy.
Speech impediment or something.
You know, you couldn't put it all together. You didn't speak with conviction. You wouldn't be where you're at today. You probably wouldn't have got the job, or they probably wouldn't have wanted you.
The crazy part, man, is like I was in the life insurance industry before this whole COVID, working from home, having Zoom calls, FaceTime appointments, selling over the phone virtually. Like, dude, I was like a road warrior. So I had to memorize my scripts. I had to memorize my rebuttals. Nowadays, it is so simple. If you can read at a 5th grade level and you're not a weirdo, you're literally reading off a script. If they say this, you say that. If they rebuttal with that, you say this. And then you just continue reading down the script and it leads you to the close. It's insane. Wow. You don't even need to be a great communicator. You just have to know how to read and be like a somewhat cool dude, not a weirdo.
And just believe in what you're saying.
And just be confident and just believe in what you're saying.
Yeah,
that's all it is, man. It's a transfer of belief. Like how I teach like my new guys and stuff like this is, let's go back to like when you were a kid. Let's say you broke your arm. You go to the doctor. The first doctor goes, hey, man, you busted up your arm. I can either give you 800 milligram extra strength Tylenol, or we can like put you under like surgery. Which one do you want to do? Versus doctor number 2, he's like, hey, man, you broke your fucking arm. We got to get you in surgery right now.
Yeah.
Which one do you feel more confident being your doctor?
The second one.
The second one, right.
He knows what he's talking about.
Because it's confidence.
Right.
Yep. I'm the doctor of insurance. So it's the same way when I'm sitting down with a client. They have no idea about insurance. They need the leadership. Yeah. They need the guidance.
Right.
That's when I come into play. So instead, at the close of being like, okay, here's your gold, silver, bronze. Which one did you want to do today?
You're like, you need this.
I'm like, listen, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start you at the bronze. I'm going to call you in about 6 to 12 months. We're going to check up, take it from there. Sound like a plan?
Right.
All right, grab your driver's license.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you're not giving them really.
You walk them into the sale. You kind of guide them.
100%.
You have to understand their needs and their wants, what's going to fit best for them. And instead of asking, what do you want, make a recommendation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
How about we start here?
You act almost like a consultant.
100%.
Yep.
You're advising. It's financial advising. You're advising people into their
There you go.
insurance.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing, dude.
It's good stuff.
It's deep stuff.
It's
I'm
exciting.
sure we can
It's
go
tough.
forever about finances. Let's flip the page.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Flip the page there.
Man, this 45 minutes went by so quick.
We've been in here for 50 minutes, dude.
I can't believe that, dude. We're just
talking,
yeah.
Just talking.
I could do this for
It's
hours.
awesome, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it's just sick.
That's why we decided to do this, because I think it's fun, and I like hearing people's stories, but I also like hearing success stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this:
Sure.
give me a big failure story.
Big failure story.
It's a tough one, I know, and you're on the spot.
A big failure story.
It doesn't even have to be business. It could be something in your life that you may have looked at as a failure. Maybe you didn't look at as a failure, but it was. But somehow you learned for it. Give me some adversity, anything really.
The first thing I think of is like the adversities and trials that you face in business. I've had teams, and then I've had teams that crumbled. That's a huge adversity. You know, you spend a lot of time training new agents and developing their mindset and taking weekends off to help them succeed in this business, and then they quit.
Mm.
Damn.
You know, like it does a lot to your soul.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a lot out of you.
Because you invested time into
You
it.
invested time, resources, money, everything.
Well, dude, how do you think I feel with Keely? You know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So Mitch and I met through and you actually done. You met Connor before, my old roommate, old business partner.
Yep.
I met Mitch through Connor. They were,
Mhm.
you guys were what, friends for a long time, right?
Yeah,
Your
our
mom
moms
and his
went to
mom.
high school together.
Yep. So
Okay.
Yeah.
his mom and their moms went to school together.
Nice.
So I met Mitch 4 or 5 years ago through
Mhm.
Connor, and I went into business with Connor because at the time he was my best friend.
Right.
We aligned mentally. We had these dreams of, okay, you know, let's make it happen. So we got into real estate together, which is why I'm still in real estate, although I would probably continue to go into it whether he was in there or not.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you think that felt? Like, this was my guy, my brother. We bought this house together. We're in the real estate game. We got a rental property, multiple units. Now you're bailing, you know? So retrospectively, it sucked. You know, you think, okay, who can I trust? How can I move forward? How can I bounce back? How can I continue along this path of real estate? How can I continue along in business? You just have to figure it out. You have to overcome the adversity. You have to figure out, how can I bounce back? How can I move to the next deal, the next segment of my life, the next chapter? And you really got to go from there, you know?
There's this, so John Maxwell. I don't know if you guys are familiar with John Maxwell.
Not particularly.
Yeah.
So he's like a motivational speaker,
Okay.
and I listen to like a lot of his podcasts. I have this like notes section in my phone. I don't know if you guys do the same thing
Dude,
Oh, I have
with like,
a million notes.
of stuff that people say.
yeah, just like
Yeah.
one-liners, just like
Quotes and
fire,
Oh,
just
yeah,
fire.
Absolutely.
But there was this line that he said, and this was last week on a podcast, and he said, gives me the goosebumps. He goes, your talk talks and your walk talks, but your walk talks a lot louder than your talk talks. So I'll say it again.
Say it again, please.
Your talk talks and your walk talks, but your walk talks a lot louder than your talk talks. Become
Absolutely.
a person of action today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody talks a massive game,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
but like, are they really about that action?
Are they really
in the
about that
trenches?
life?
Like, are they really about getting the results?
Mm-hmm.
Most people
Only
aren't.
time will
Most
tell.
people, yeah.
Most people
You
aren't.
can show somebody better than you could tell somebody.
I could see how that came to your mind, because I'm not going to say anything bad about people, but Connor talked a big talk.
Yeah.
And when it came time to walk in the walk, it didn't really walk.
Perfect example.
Hey, I mean, but look, I mean, that's either here nor there. You know,
Bygones be
that's
bygones.
the way it
Yeah.
goes. I still got to do me.
Yep.
You had your adversity. You still got to do you, right? You can't become a victim of situations. You have to victimize your situations,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, I mean, I think that's huge, is overcoming adversity. I mean, we can go for hours. I'm sure
Yeah.
we all have stories about stuff
Oh,
we can
yeah.
go about. How do you balance
Mhm.
work and life? So you have your brothers. You're close
Yeah.
with your mom, your brothers, your family. I'm assuming you got a whole bunch of family.
Yep.
But you also have a girlfriend,
Yep.
Chrissy, who
Chrissy.
I don't know personally. I would love to meet her one day. Maybe even get her on the podcast one of these days. But it seems like she's got her shit together.
She's amazing.
It seems like she's got a really great brand business. So give us a little bit, just very brief, because he doesn't know her, just for the sake of conversation, who Chrissy is, what you do, and then your work-life balance, your family. How do you balance all that?
Yeah. So, Chrissy, I don't even know where to start. She's amazing. She's been in the fashion industry for like 14, 15 years. She owned a little boutique in Little Italy called Tre Sorelli, right next to Garino's and
Okay.
Mama Santa's.
Mama Santa's. Good
And
pizza.
she's now currently the executive director of Cleveland Fashion Week.
Wow.
So last year they had the gala, and it was with Njoku,
I saw
David
that.
Njoku.
I saw that.
This year they're doing it again.
That was at Ivy, right?
No, it was actually at the town hall. It was at
Oh,
this
really?
amazing, super elegant event
Nice.
space, like suit and tie, tuxedo
Very
thing.
nice. Very
Nice.
nice.
But dude, like she's a hustler, you know, like she's paved the way. She's been through a lot of adversities, a lot of trials. She works a 9-to-5 job, and then from 5 to 10, 11 o'clock, she's on the computer hustling, doing her thing. So it really allows me to kind of do my thing without her being like, hey, we're not spending enough time together, or,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
this, that, and the third. But I feel like you have to have like a really, really solid partner, especially if you're going to be in business and like entrepreneurship, because it's the furthest thing from an average lifestyle. And like, if you want greatness, like you have to sacrifice all of the things that 95% of Americans are not willing to sacrifice. And that's why it's difficult to make 100 grand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not easy. If it was easy, more people than 8% of Americans would be making $100,000 a
Right.
year. So
Absolutely.
that's like what brings the realism to all of it. But the family part, man, I have an amazing family. They're all very, very supportive of me. The great thing with insurance is you build up residual income. So not only do you get paid your advance and commission and you get a bonus each week, but you get a percentage of every single policy that you've sold that pays each month
So it's residual for life?
for life. For life. So after doing this for 8 years, my residual pays for my rent, my car, my insurance, groceries, my cell phone bill. So then all the sales now at this time in my career, it's all just more money,
It's on the top.
saving it more, investing it more, stuff like that. So now it's like a job that starts out as commission. It actually does turn into like a salary essentially.
Right.
After you hit year 2, after those policies have paid their 12th month, now going on to that 13th, 14th, 15th month until they either cancels or until the person dies, because life insurance is for
Right.
life.
Right.
You get that residual income. That's what really gives you like the freedom to come to your buddy's house and do a podcast. When the team is on Discord right now, just ripping appointments, ripping sales, giving presentations to everybody, and just all these people are hustling and doing what they got to do to protect their families and make sure that their financial future is secured. You know, these guys are hustling, they're closing deals right now. You know what I'm saying? So the residual income really just gives you kind of like the freedom to take off when you want, travel when you want, do whatever you want to do. Most people don't really understand that residual income is like a real thing. I feel like if more people knew what residual income was, they would be more open to a sales job, an insurance sales job, even real estate. I mean, you could have a great year this year, Nick, but January 2026, it starts all over.
Yep.
You're at zero again.
Mm-hmm.
Insurance isn't that way. So that's really what gives you like the freedom to do what you want. Up front, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of sweat equity and stuff like that, but it gets easier the longer you do it. It's like riding a bike. You know, it's like when you first rode a bike, you had the training wheels. Whether it was your dad or your bigger brother, he took the training wheels off, he pushed you, you went 5 feet, you fell to the left. He's like, get up, do it again. You got on the bike again. Now you went 10 feet, you fell to the right. You bruised your knee. Hey, good job, Nick. You went 5 feet further that time. Get back on the bike.
Mm-hmm.
Third time around,
Yep.
now you go all the way to the stop sign. And then after 3 days of riding the bike, now you can't wait to wake up in the morning. Mom, open up the garage. I want to ride my bike. Now you're doing wheelies and shit.
Right.
This is the same way. Anything that's worth having is not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
And things that are easy are not worth having.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you really got to ask yourself, man, like, what is it that I want? Why do I want it? And am I willing to sacrifice the things that are needed to achieve those things? You got to be real with yourself. You know, you can't have front row seats with nosebleed effort. You can't have floor seats with nosebleed effort. Everybody wants the floor seats, but you got nosebleed effort.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're delusional.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be real with yourself.
Wow.
Kind of went on a little tangent there.
I love
guess.
that.
Right. Yeah.
I love it. That's what this is for.
Got
I
a
mean,
lot of great analogies.
Yeah.
Like
you are an analogies
enough.
guy. I like
Yeah.
that. I
Thanks.
like that. It makes for good punchlines.
it does.
For the
Yeah.
camera, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Little clips, YouTube shorts.
So you two both have partners.
Mhm.
He's been with his girl for how long?
11
20?
years.
11.
Wow.
Long time he's been with his
Awesome.
girl. He's got kids.
Yeah,
Nice.
You and Chris, you're trying, right? I don't have a long-term
Yeah.
partner. I'm one of those guys. I'm 25, right? But I'm working on building my businesses. Girls come and go. To
Mm-hmm.
be honest with you, I call them 6-monthers.
6 months.
Just
For some reason, like I mean, it's just the way it goes. Like we don't really align mentally sometimes, or I'm constantly working. I'm not showing enough attention,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm constantly working and they're not getting the attention they need, or it really just comes down to a mentality thing. So I guess I'm asking the both of you this
Mm-hmm.
as people who have long-standing relationships. How much does it impact your day-to-day, business, etc., having a long-term partner versus being that 25-year-old kind of just playing the game, whatever?
I would say like trust and communication is like the biggest thing.
huge.
Just like openly communicating with each other. Because like at the end of the day, like Chrissy has her life. She has her things going. I'm sure your girl has her own life.
Oh,
She has
yeah.
her things going. You have
Absolutely.
your things going. I have my things going. But it's like the main thing is just making sure that you communicate with each other, and you can love somebody but not like them. You have to like your partner. And like I really like her as a human being,
As a
what she
human.
stands for, who she is. Like we all have that person in our family, like, oh, that's either my, my aunt or that's this person. Like I love them, but like I don't like them as a
Can't
person.
stand them.
Can't stand them, but
yeah.
you love them.
Right.
So like the tip that I would say is like, you can love somebody without liking them, but you have to like who you're with for it to really, really thrive.
That's huge.
You have to really, really like who they are as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's very huge.
You got any comments
I
on
just
that?
I agree with that. Communication is huge, because if you're not communicating, and then you get into arguments over small things because they might not know that this affects you this way, or you don't like something a certain way like that. So you've gotta be boisterous about it. You gotta let them know ahead of time, and I'd say even like don't hold shit in thinking that you're gonna hurt the other person's feelings either, because some things have to be said. Like you said before, the truth hurts, and sometimes like it's got to be this way. There's got to be sacrifice, I feel like, on both ends.
So how does having that long-term partner that you guys are like locked in, how does that support your entrepreneurial endeavors? How does that support your work, your career, whatever the case may be?
Yeah, dude, it's huge, man. I'm able to basically lock in my office, do what I got to do. She knows if the door's closed that I'm locked in doing what I got to do. She doesn't come in there. She doesn't bother me. She lets me do what I do because she has my back. People are elevators. They either bring you up or they bring you down. People either have your back or they're on your back. Doesn't
dude
matter if it's your
Dude is
girlfriend.
good with the fucking metaphors, man.
He is.
It's just, it is what it is, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
It's facts.
doesn't matter if it's your mom, your dad, your brother, your old roommate from 5 years ago. Like, people either have your back, they're supportive of you, they're understanding that you're going through these things, you're chasing dreams, visions, goals, etc., or people are on your back and they're making your life harder than it is, and life's already hard as is. So like, if people are on your back, you got to eliminate them.
Gotta take them off, because
Got to eliminate them, man.
the people you hang around is how you hang yourself,
Yeah.
and you gotta have a supportive spouse, significant other. Like, you've got to. 'Cause
I
if
feel
they
like
don't-
it
if
could
they
be
don't
really
support you-
detrimental if not.
Yeah.
If not, then it's hindering yourself and it's hindering them.
I've seen a lot of people that came into the business that had a ton of potential, like dogs, beast at sales, but they had the wrong partner.
That's honestly, I mean, I guess looking intrinsically and retrospectively, that's honestly been a lot of my struggle, is just not being on the same page. I'm constantly working. I'm working 7 days a week. I consider this to be work, even
For
though
sure.
I'm not particularly making money from it right now. It could lead to something. It
planting
certainly
seeds.
will. I'm planting seeds.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have X, Y, and Z going. I have a ton of stuff
Mhm.
going on. I'm always working. When you start, at least for me, when I started dating, it's very hard to find a girl who is kind of willing to take a backseat for now, to be that, okay, look, I can like you and I can love you and we can have a great time. We can go wherever, we'll go to the nice places, do whatever. We all got to eat once a day, so I'll eat with you. But it's hard for me finding that girl who matches the mentality of like, okay, I understand that Nick has all these things going on. He has to work. He has to make it happen. He has to make it happen for us and our future family. It's hard to find a girl who's on that same mental scape to realize, okay, a little bit of suffering for right now,
Right.
for long-term positivity and goals. So I guess just looking back and just looking retrospectively, like, that's just really what I struggle. And that doesn't mean I struggle getting girls,
Right.
Mhm.
you know?
That's what I try to tell you, though. You keep saying find. I feel like it'll come to you.
Yeah.
It should feel effortless. You shouldn't be trying to put yourself out there and like, like this person. Like it should just feel right.
The way I met Chrissy was insane.
That's what I was going to tell me that, because I read that and I voted for you guys because that was one of the most insane and beautiful ways I've ever seen somebody meet anybody.
Crazy.
So please tell us and the camera how you met your girlfriend.
So at the time I was living in Little Italy. Lived in Little Italy after I moved out of that Cleveland Heights house.
Right.
I was down on the hill for 4 years. Had a roommate, good friend at the time, Nick. He ended up moving to Florida. He had some personal stuff going on. Kind of same thing with Keely. Moved out 6 months early, but paid for the remaining payments, so you didn't get fucked on it. It was that situation. My lease was coming up, so I had to find another place to move.
Right.
And at the time, I was looking at an apartment downtown Cleveland. I think it's East 4th. It's called the May.
I toured the May actually. With
Okay, it's really nice.
Really nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And at the time, Chrissy was working at the May, and I inquired about a unit there.
So
and
she was like a rental manager, leasing manager.
Exactly. She was one that called me upon my file. So we're talking, and she's like building rapport. Like she's in sales. It's a sales job, building rapport. She went to Aurora. I lived in Aurora Shores. Her mom was my Spanish teacher for a week, Miss Cavada at Twinsburg. I dropped out of that Spanish class after a week. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'll be able to pass this shit. So then I ended up taking Chinese Mandarin. I passed with a D+. The only reason I passed is because the athletic director, it was a brand new elective course at Twinsburg, and they needed kids to take the class. They needed bodies. So he's like, Mitch, take the class. I'll make sure that you stay eligible to wrestle. Just take Chinese. I got you. Nice. So worked it out with me. But over the phone call conversation, it was like a 35, 45-minute conversation, and we were just gelling, like, really good. Like, the conversation was great. Like, the energy was amazing. Had no idea what she looked like. Didn't even know who the hell she was, other than her name was Cavada. And at the end of the conversation, I'm like, listen, I don't know if this is a recorded line, but I don't know if you're seeing somebody or what your status is, but would you be down to grab a glass of wine sometime?
So that was solely off the conversation?
On the phone.
You had no idea what she looked like?
No. And she's like, what if I could be 300 pounds? I'm like, okay, that's fine.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
so,
you'll feel the vibe. Like,
yeah.
You feel the energy and the aura is there.
Were you looking at the time?
Not really, man.
I mean, well, as a man, you're, I guess, always have your eye open, right? But were you pursuing, like, were you trying to find that?
Nah, dude. Like he was saying, like it'll come to you. You know, it's like it's weird how the universe works. It's like when you put your focus on like trying to grasp things, you like put a wall up for the things that are trying to come into you. So like I wasn't really like on the prowl, like looking for a relationship, anything like that. Like it just happened organically, and that's what made it so beautiful. And she's like, I'm not going to give you my number. I don't even know who you are. I'll give you my Instagram. So then I got her Instagram. Now I'm like seeing what she's looking like. I'm like, yo, this is a go. This is a go. And then, you know, slid in the DMs, and it was like 3-4 months after the fact, and we're messaging. And, you know, us guys, like, we have our way with our messages, you know, a little emoji here and there, trying to feel out the temperature of the water.
Sure.
Right.
And she wasn't really giving me the responses that I was used to receiving. You know, like, I'm the kind of guy, like, if I want something, I'm going to go get it.
Right.
Like, that's just how I am. If I want something, I'm going to go get it. And she wasn't really, like, responding back with those text messages. Well, one night I was out at the bar with a couple of my boys, and I messaged her. I'm like, listen, no worries. I get it. You're a lesbian. No problem. She's like, you little fucker.
Really?
What the fuck you mean? Like, okay, like, yeah, let's hang out. Like, okay, yeah, come over tomorrow. You want to hang out that bad? Come over tomorrow. She's like, why? Because I'm not playing in your little game? So, because I called it, because I was like a dick, and I'm like, I get it. You're a lesbian. You're not into men. That, like, sent her over the edge where she's like, okay. And then from there, it was like the rest was history.
Wow.
Nice. That's awesome.
Take shots, dude. You have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful, because I might find your number now, because no, seriously, because like, you didn't know what she looked like.
No idea.
You had a great conversation. You were inquiring about an apartment.
Correct.
Right? You weren't looking.
No.
And you got her Instagram, which that's like the new way of getting a girl's number.
Sure.
Here's my IG. Follow me on the IG,
Here's
which
my
is cool.
Snapchat. Yeah,
it's a new way. It's a little bit of a security level. That's fine. We got to play the game how it is. We don't make the game. We just play it. And so what's beautiful about that, not the fact that you didn't know her. I mean, that is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. What's beautiful about that is you had that initial conversation.
Yeah.
3-4 months go by, nothing. But you still wanted her, right? You were still trying to make it happen. So that is a life lesson in and of itself, where like a little bit of
Persistency.
for some delayed gratification.
Yep. And being in sales, it's like
You're used to
I'm
that.
a pro at being told no.
You were already used to that.
I'm used to being told. I wake up every day and I'm told no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the worst she could tell me? No.
Right.
And now you found your person.
Yeah, I found my person,
You think
dude.
you'll marry her?
100%, man. It's in the works.
Good for you.
Nice.
Yeah, I got
I know an
something
amazing
brewing up here.
I know an amazing wedding DJ. He's top notch. He's fucking incredible.
You got some competition, dude.
What, does she know wedding people?
Dude,
I'm sure
she
she
knows
probably does. Being
she
in
knows
that.
everybody.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
you'll have to meet her.
for sure. I would enjoy that. You going
Yeah.
to Little Italy this year?
We're going to
feast?
Little Italy this year.
Oh
We're
my
actually booking a
goodness.
trip to the real Italy in August.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What part of Italy?
Well, she's a big fashion person, so Milan,
Of
all the
course.
fashion,
Of course.
and then Rome, the
Nice.
Vatican and stuff, and then like
Mm.
Florence for like the vineyards and the stuff like
That's
that. She has
amazing.
family in Sicily, so
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
gonna be
great.
Sweet.
yeah,
That'll be cool, man. Well,
forward to it.
like I said, I mean, that's awesome. I wish you guys
Mhm.
nothing but the best.
Definitely.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So, I mean, we could keep going. We could wrap it up. I don't know what
Dude,
your
let it-
schedule's looking like, but
Nothing, man. Nothing.
I guess some other things I'd love to talk to you about is like
Mhm.
Cleveland. Let's talk about Cleveland. Maybe let's
Okay.
talk about lifestyle. Maybe
Yeah,
politics might be touchy for some people. I mean, you and I know how we go.
sure.
Let's talk about Cleveland. I think Cleveland's great. I think Cleveland's an amazing city. I think for 4 months, it's the best city in the country. Brissett said that or something like that. It's like 90 days.
Jameis Winston.
Winston. He's like, oh man, 90 days. It's amazing, which
Yeah.
is true though. It is. It is.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
How do you feel about Cleveland?
Cleveland's the alpha, the omega, man.
Yeah.
It's the beginning, it's the end. All my family's from Cleveland. Cleveland's beautiful, dude. Cleveland is like one of those places, I think, once you're able to get the resources to go travel and you go visit LA and you go visit Chicago and you visit other people, like, people might not like Cleveland, but they respect Cleveland.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
Absolutely.
you get it how you live out here. Like, nothing is given in Cleveland. I don't know
Mhm.
if you vibe with Kid Cudi.
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
Cleveland is the city where it's hustle or you hopeless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Uh-huh.
it's like, it's real stuff. You
Yeah.
know, Cleveland has great musicians, great food.
Great.
Like, the
food.
food is really
Great.
slept
Oh
on. Like,
my
people have no
People don't
idea.
understand.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
They don't understand.
They don't get
They
it.
look at like, oh, New York's got food. Cleveland like can touch New York.
Our
Cleveland
food
Little
scene
Italy,
is
I think, is
crazy.
ranked nationally.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Top 5 Little Italies in the country.
100%.
hmm
Same with our art
Fire.
district. Like
art
our performing
district.
arts.
Yep.
We're number 2.
Cleveland Institute of Art is right down there by Little Italy.
Yep. Playoff Square's number 2
Yep.
behind Broadway.
Yeah.
Our
A
teams,
lot of
our
Italians. from
teams are
Cleveland, dude.
juiced right now. The Cavs.
The Cavs are fire. Dude, the
Browns are-
tribe, the Indians they're always going to be the Indians. Sorry for you Guardians
Hey, I
fans.
got the
Yeah, I
Indians
know.
on here.
They're Indians for life.
So that'll
you
kind of
got the
tell you
Chief
guys.
Wahoo?
My Chief Wahoo right there.
Chief
Oh,
right there.
nice.
So I mean,
Right
guys,
there.
that kind of tells you guys at home the way we feel about a lot of things.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, I think Cleveland's great. You know, how do you engage
Mm-hmm.
at all with the city? I'm sure your girl does because she does all these events that are
Yeah.
local to Cleveland. How do you engage with Cleveland?
I engage just by being like her number one fan, other than her dad. I'm always at her events, you know, like I actually like truly vibe like with her movement. Like I said, I like her as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, I'm into fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like getting
course.
dressed up. You know what I mean? Like, I like feeling myself a little
For
bit
sure,
and stuff
for
like
sure.
that. And I think I'm gonna walk in her in the gala this upcoming year.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. There's like one of the events is gonna be at Edgewater. It's gonna be like a swimsuit fashion show. So I think I'm gonna
That's pretty cool.
walk in that. That'd be super sick. So like, Cleveland's just super cool, man. Like, everybody here has this same like understanding of like get it how you live mentality. And it doesn't matter if you're like west side or like east side, but like when you go down at the Jake on the corner of Carnegie and Ontario and it's opening day, people are drinking brews and they're cheering for the tribe.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Oh, yeah.
matter if you're black, white, rich, poor, Indian, Catholic. It does not
And I
matter.
think that was apparent when the Cavs won the championship in 2016.
Oh,
What a
my
time,
goodness.
dude.
Dude, we were down
Best-
there
One of the best
Yeah,
times of my life.
Sick.
for a day when the Cavs won, and immediately were you downtown the Game 7?
Dude, I was like 5 feet away from J.R. Smith with his shirt off in the back of the convertible.
I was in 2016. I was a junior in high school. Okay.
Yeah, I was a junior in college.
And I'm like, Mom, I gotta go down. She's like, whatever. I end up going anyways. You have to be there, Game 7. I'm like, this is it. We came back 3-1. This is
Mhm.
it. They win Okay, the city erupts.
Crazy.
People everywhere climbing street poles,
Insane.
but it wasn't violent, right?
No.
And I think that shows the true character of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Because you could have people say what you want about black, white, whatever color, whatever race, it doesn't matter.
Political stance, all of it.
None of that mattered that day.
Yep.
Right? Cavs won. I remember you're hugging people, you're cheering. Gay person, you're hugging them. White person, you're hugging them. Black. It doesn't matter. For that moment in time, we were all extremely happy. One fan.
Yeah.
And that is, I think that sums up Cleveland.
Yeah, Philly could never do that.
No.
After they won the Super Bowl, people were just lighting that
I know.
city down on fire.
I know.
Crazy.
We had
Nothing against Philly. I was glad that Saquon and my Eagles beat the Chiefs. I couldn't stand the Chiefs run. So
I like the Chiefs because
I mean, Kelsey's a dog. You know,
Cleveland
he's a dog.
He's Cleveland Heights.
I mean, Pat Mahomes a playmaker, but
He's a G.
it gets old.
I guess.
It got old.
I was sick. I wanted the Bills.
Yeah, me too. I was rooting for the Bills. Josh Allen.
Really hoping. Honestly, Bills in Washington would have been sweet.
Yeah, I couldn't believe Washington made it as far as they did.
Right.
Came up out of nowhere.
I guess that just really touches on Cleveland, though.
Yeah.
You know, and what I love about Cleveland is the small world mentality. Where Cleveland's big, there's who knows millions of people. I mean, there was 1.3 million alone just for the Cavs parade. But it's tight knit where everybody knows everybody, right?
Yeah.
And part of going back to references is like, if you create a bad name for yourself, it'll go around.
Yeah.
Versus if you create a good name for yourself, and you know people, it'll go around as well. And I love the business aspect of it because you go out and you network, you do all these things. People do business with people they like.
For sure.
And if you have a good name around your name, especially in a small town world like Cleveland, they're gonna rock with you. Let's say you have a coffee bar, okay, and you're well known in Cleveland. People love who you are. They're gonna support the life out of you. And that goes for anything.
If you have a good coffee.
Yeah, if you have a good coffee.
Because there's a lot of coffee spots.
You gotta have a good coffee. But
yeah, be good or be good at it. Shout out Wheezy.
That's true though.
You know?
That's true.
There's always someone out there that's bigger than you.
True.
There's always someone out there that has it worse than you.
You can have a decent coffee, but if you do it well.
If you do it well.
In a nice seating area.
Right. Like they give McDonald's. They have the system and the process down. It's not the McDouble. It's not the Big Mac. But it's the system and the process. Even better example, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I don't think their chicken's that good.
Neither do I.
But their customer service is impeccable.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
And that's what brings people back.
I try to beat them to the my pleasure before they say it.
Yeah. Closed on Sundays. That's a power move.
Yeah.
Huge.
You know, it's a power move.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Cleveland. Wow.
Cleveland.
I love Cleveland.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Exactly. I love Cleveland, but I'm going to be real with you here.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to live in a tropical area where it's warm.
Who wouldn't?
Where the summer lasts all year long.
Who wouldn't?
I mean, it's all right, though. I lived in South Carolina for 2 years.
But that I don't consider that too tropical. Like, I lived in D.C. for a little bit. Like, when I was younger. That's same-ish area. I'm talking like I want to go live in Florida. Like, I'll be real. Like,
everybody does.
You know, I don't want to be, maybe not Miami.
Tampa.
But like Tampa.
St. Pete.
Sarasota.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. I like the Gulf of America side. You know?
Yeah.
The Gulf of America side is nice.
Yeah, the GOA.
But that doesn't mean I don't like Cleveland. I think I'll always have boots in Cleveland. I'll always have a base camp here. I'm in real estate. I'm going to keep houses here.
Right. But I think the big thing that like Cleveland like has to offer that not a lot of people think of, like I went to Notre Dame College. It was the most prestigious wrestling school for Division II. Most of the people that went there were not from Ohio. So then I'm able to kind of wrestle with kids from New York, Florida, California, Washington, Iowa, different parts of the country. Like, dude, Cleveland, the 4 seasons, like spring, summer, winter, all these different seasons makes you hardened on the outside. If you can get it out of Cleveland, you can go anywhere in the country and succeed.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot of people from California. No disrespect to California. I got brothers out in Cali, right?
Right.
But if your life every day is nothing but sunshine and rainbows and beautiful weather, you're going to have to be dealt when life actually hits you with an uppercut. In Cleveland, like the cold winters, like that creates character.
Oh, yeah.
Like, some of these dudes never had to shovel a fucking driveway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, like, I had to shovel a driveway and not get paid a dime to do it because I was told to do it.
Right.
And then on top of having to shovel a driveway, I had to put on a garbage fucking tracksuit and go run to burn four pounds for a tournament the next day, and then not eat dinner with my family.
Oh yeah.
Go upstairs, you know, eat 3 Starbursts and take my ass to bed. So like, just like the climate of where we're at in Cleveland, Ohio, having the 4 seasons, like that does something to your mentality. Whereas somewhere like Florida or California, Arizona, when it's beautiful weather all the time, like the living is so easy that like when you're met with hard things, you're not going to triumph over the dude from the Midwest, because us in the Midwest, we're different breeds.
And then you don't appreciate it as much, right?
Exactly.
If you're always around sunshine, to you it's just normal.
That's why
Versus
Cleveland,
we go to Florida, we're like, man, this is amazing. 80 degrees by the beach.
to them, they're like, oh, it's another day.
Yeah,
It's
to
a
them, they're
great
like,
day.
whatever. You know?
But that's why Jamie said like those 90 days in Cleveland are so lit, because the other 7-8 months of the year, it's gloomy, it's cold, it's wet, it's rainy, it's snowing. So then like you don't know what you have until it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So like once summer comes back around and people are on their boats down in the flats and Edgewater's popping, people are playing volleyball, it's
beast.
unreal.
It's
And
a
everybody's
different beast.
energy is just at an all-time high.
Yeah.
That's why Jamie said that.
Like a daytime 75 cash flats, dude.
Oh my goodness.
Case of beer with your boyos, just chilling.
It's crazy.
Man, just throwing upper deckies with the Zin Pop.
That's when you're like,
just, man.
It's one of those days where you're like,
Insane.
I love Cleveland. I could be here for the rest of my life.
Seriously, it's the best.
But then you get buried in a foot and a half of snow. You're like, fuck Cleveland.
Yep.
You know, and then the Browns lose. You're like, fuck Cleveland.
Dude, honestly, man,
Cavs do good. You're like, yeah, Cleveland.
I'm sorry to all the Browns fans, man, but my dad said that this day was coming, and it's been like this for like the last 2 years for me. I want the Browns to win, but I am no longer emotionally available for the Cleveland Browns.
Me
I am detached from them.
I'll be honest, I stopped watching them.
I'll watch them.
Stop.
I'll root on the Brownies. Those are my dogs. But I'm no longer gonna have that be the dictator of if I'm gonna have a good week or a bad
I agree.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because too many people
It's
will
such
do
an
that.
emotional fucking roller coaster. I'm done with it. It's like the toxic ex where you get back together, then you break up. You're
Yeah.
back together for 3 months, then you break up for 4.
Mhm.
You're back together and you break up.
That's an interesting point you made, because so many
Uh-huh.
people allow that to dictate their weeks, and they allow it
Yeah.
to dictate their life. Like, oh, the Browns lost, can have a shitty day at work, can have a shitty week at work, pissed off at the family, yada yada yada.
Mhm.
I think that's a little insane.
It's very
but
insane.
But
Can
I guess we can get philosophical here. What's up?
Can I do this?
Yeah, man, if you want.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
This couch kind of hurts the ass after a while, huh?
No, dude, I'm fucking chilling right here.
I'll be fucking.
This is fire right here, bro.
I guess to get a little philosophical,
Yeah.
what they said in Rome was, give them bread in a circus and they won't revolt.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, hell yeah.
I think that's our modern day Coliseum.
Yeah, it's a distraction.
It's a distraction. They give us football.
Mm-hmm.
We have adequate food,
Right.
and we can be oppressed by government, and we won't revolt until someone like Donald Trump
Keep
steps
their
in.
minds busy.
Exactly.
Keep their minds on other things
Brainwashed.
instead of the important things, which is
Brainwashed.
becoming financially stable.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing is like people can barely survive
Yep.
in terms of money.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't survive, you can't thrive.
Correct.
You can't have a family like I don't know how some people have kids nowadays
Right.
unless you make good money. You know what I'm saying? But like I just to me it seems very hard
Mm-hmm.
to actually raise a family how you want to without putting them through daycare and you never see it. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think society in and of itself nowadays is just it's gone.
You got to go get the money, man. I mean, it sucks because it's like, damn, like everybody talks about money and money this, money that. I don't have enough money. I need more money. I don't like my car. I want a new car. I don't have a big enough place. I need a bigger place. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like this piece of paper is really what gives you the opportunity to either have the things that you want or you're forced to have the things that you can afford.
Mm-hmm.
And like part of the reason why it's like I got so like obsessive with like sales and insurance and stuff is like because I didn't have that stuff growing up. Like I never went on a vacation. Like
Right.
our vacation was jumping in the van, going to Great Bear Lodge in Pennsylvania for a night and stayed in the hotel.
That was-
Splash Lagoon. That was literally our vacation.
Same with Kalahari.
And I had
Kalahari,
friends at Twinsburg that were getting weekly allowances. I'm like, a weekly allowance, dog? What the fuck? So, like, my mentality is like, I'm going to get rich. I'm going to make it. I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to fucking do it through hell and high water.
Yep.
Like, bro, there was a point in high school where I would get home from school after smoking a blunt with my buddies, right? 16, 17 years old, whatever. Close the bedroom door, and I'd be playing Mac Miller. And I'd have this mirror in my bedroom, and I would have an empty water bottle, and I'd act like the water bottle was the mic. And I would start rapping and spitting bars, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror thinking, like, this is me on stage, like, performing in front of a large crowd of people, and I'm rich, and I have all the cars I want, and I have the lifestyle that I want, and I knew, like, somehow, some way I was going to achieve that, but I didn't know what vehicle I was going to use to get that. And that's, like, the thing with, like, insurance. It's like nobody wakes up and they're like, I'm going to sell insurance when I grow older. I want to be the president. I want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
I want to be an astronaut.
Right.
Nobody ever says, I'm going to sell life insurance.
Right.
So it's a vehicle to get you to where you want. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just using it for a fucking vehicle.
You gotta realize an opportunity when it presents itself, and
Yeah.
sometimes you have to capitalize on the opportunity.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because let's say you didn't take that job, where do you think you'd be now? Who the fuck knows?
Bro, honestly, I'd probably be like an iron worker.
Really?
Probably be in
The
a
trades?
union. Yeah, probably be in like a plumber.
Yeah.
One
Hey,
of my
I don't want. We can't talk bad about them though.
No,
Those guys,
dude, my
fucking
boy Chris
day.
Sabraco, he's basically like the bigger brother that I never had. He's a
Yeah.
family friend of mine. Pro Service Plumbing, dude, he is such a top notch at what he does, and he's a plumber, he's a pipe fitter. He's literally so good at what he does, and dude, you can make so much bread in the trades because no one wants to do them anymore.
Yeah,
Everybody
right.
wants to do TikTok and Twitch and make money doing YouTube and all this bullshit. Nobody wants to be in the
I'm in the trades. That's what I do.
dude.
That's my fucking thing.
Same with my brother.
We need people like that. And like honestly, man, like I was probably gonna be like in the union and just get like more tattoos and just
Yep.
fucking live that life, you know, make a modest paycheck, you know, drive a sick ass truck, you know, have enough money to go to the bar with my boys, take my girl to a nice steak dinner, rinse and repeat. But it's like, man, I got into this stuff and I'm like, dude, I can still do all that stuff
And some.
and some
Right.
and a lot more.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds fucking sweet.
Yeah, it's dope, dude.
They
It's
make
almost
good
like
money though.
convincing me to go jump over there. Like I'm like,
We're hiring. I know a guy.
Yeah.
We're hiring.
I mean,
Free leads.
they make really good money. I'll be honest with you. They make a killing.
My thing though is like,
Mm-hmm.
like you were talking about before. Like I have 4 kids. I have, you know,
Yeah.
girl. I'm the primary source of income.
Yep.
So in order for me to take a
You're the
leap
only
like
source
that,
of
I'm the only source of income. you
Wow.
know?
You're
I
feeding
fucking-
5 mouths.
Absolutely.
Plus,
and
and
dog
a
and
dog
2
and cats.
cats.
He's feeding
Wow.
7 miles.
And I'm fucking
That's
working
respect,
my
man.
ass off and doing
He
anything
does.
I
He
can.
works his ass off. I'll give him that. I mean, this is one of my best friends. I've known him since I was 8 or 9. I met you.
Yeah.
He works his fucking ass off, and I commend him more than a lot of people ever
Mm-hmm.
because of how hard he works and the responsibility that he was given with 4 children and a wife.
Yeah.
It's not. You don't see that nowadays,
Right.
especially being
Pretty
single
young.
income and being young.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 25, so
Yeah. Very young.
So,
The opportunity's there, man. You know, but it's not guaranteed.
is that something you
Right.
could balance?
you know? Yeah, dude. There's like single moms that work at our company
wow.
that make 6 figures.
Maybe
Just
Patricia.
selling life insurance from home. There's people that literally come into the business and they want to do it as like a part-time gig. They're not going to make as much as the guy that's, you know, 100% bought into the lifestyle and stuff like that. But dude, there's people that work 3-4 days a week and they make $1,200 every week and they make an
So-
extra $4,000 on top of their 9 to 5 and they make an extra $50,000 a year and they're cool with that.
Could you do it on top of your 9 to 5?
Yeah, the training would probably be like the most difficult part because the training process, like when we're giving you all the information, learning the scripts, how to sit with the clients and stuff like that. Once your training is done, training takes like a week and a half, 2 weeks max. Once you're done being trained, we release you. Basically, we give you an area in Ohio or Wisconsin or one of the states where we handle the union benefits. Then you're able to make your own schedule. So if you work a 9 to 5, you can just book appointments from 6 to 10.
right.
You know, get home from your day job, shower, eat a quick meal, throw on the polo,
Yep.
open up the laptop. Now you're selling insurance from 6 to 9 p.m.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you end up making 1 sale a day, each sale, you know, it's average between like $300 to $500. Some are a little bit bigger, some a little bit smaller. But you throw that on top of your 9 to 5 job, dude. If you can make an extra $2,000 a month, that's an extra 25 grand a year.
That's fucking.
You know, from home,
Yeah.
and the baby's on the
Right
couch
there.
behind you.
Yep.
You know, like there's people that have like kids and they'll have like their child on the Zoom while they're presenting to break the ice with the member.
Yeah.
Like, hey, just got a newborn. They're, oh, he's so cute.
Yep.
And then, you know, you give them to your wife.
Use
All
it
right,
to
guys,
your
did you
advantage.
make it to the
Right.
meeting where they talked about how this is set up for you? All right,
Mhm.
no worries. I'm going to give you the quick version.
Right.
Grab a pen and piece of paper. Let's get this knocked out. Then you just do it. So, yeah, it's just like really asking yourself, man, like, what do you want? Why do you want it? And are you willing to sacrifice what's needed to get it? If you're just looking to make an extra 30 grand, 40 grand a year, absolutely. It's an amazing opportunity part-time. Just get your insurance license, dude. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
What do you have to lose? $120 for the course, taking the state
Right.
exam? Because if you fail at it and you suck at it, you're right back exactly where you're at right now.
Before.
But it could be something that could change your whole fucking life. And then you're like, damn, dude, like I'm actually good at this.
Mhm.
You know what, Mitch, I'm going to do this 4 days a week. And then you're like, dude, like I'm making enough money selling insurance. Like I don't even think I need my 9 to 5 anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in this 100%.
Right.
I'll be honest.
Now you make, you know, now you're killing it.
These guys do kill it. It is hard work.
Yeah.
Anything that is rewarding is a lot of risk, and
And
it
I'm
is
not
hard
opposed
work.
to hard work, man.
Right.
I don't.
I guess you're probably maybe not. You may be wondering, oh, why haven't I joined AIL? I think the reason my answer to that is because I had already created my routes before learning about what it was. If I was in a position where maybe I was fresh out of high school and I didn't really have my route figured out, 100%. When I met you, I was already in that route of real estate. I knew where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Same with Santino. You know, we had a conversation. I have my routes.
Right.
If I didn't have that route already, I would 100% be on board.
There's nothing to lose, man.
But I have that route where it's like, okay, I know how I'm going to get there. I just have to execute at this point. And I know what my end goal is. It's all about execution.
And even if you end up not being a success at the company, you learned sales skills.
Right.
And you get to use those transferable skills for the rest of your life. But then if you take a chance and it ends up working out, you're not going to regret it.
Not at all.
What
You'll just never know unless you try,
Yeah.
you know?
I'd have to.
I'm interested. What percentage would you say? I don't know if you know the exact numbers, but male versus female employees of people who are selling.
Like ever since like virtual happened, like we got a lot of like women like dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, dude, think about it. You're a steel worker. You work 50 hours a week. You're working your ass off. You don't like your boss. You're making just enough money to get by. Some baddie hops up on a Zoom call to talk about your insurance benefits through work. You're going to be like, hey,
Yeah.
Right.
what's going on? What's this all about?
So I'm sure some of them will sign just to talk to her again.
Dude.
Right.
If you're a good looking girl and you got a mouthpiece and you got that shark in you and you know like the end destination is to enroll him into his insurance and you're going to make commission off it, you can make a killing. But for it's more of a male dominant
I'm sure.
industry
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
What are some of the plans? Like, what does it cost out of pocket for a member, for like your basic plan,
Basic plan, $40
a week or a month?
a month, $40,
so we're
$50
not,
a
not so
month.
much really.
Yeah, and you just if you take your calculator, if you do $50 times 12, that's your ALP.
600.
You get paid half of that Friday.
Mm.
So $300. If you close someone for $50 a month to protect their family with life insurance, you get paid $300 that Friday. Let's say you do that 4 times in the
So
week.
that $50 a month policy you're paying, what does that equate to in terms of life protection? Is that like a $1 million? Is that
based
a
off their
quarter?
age, rate, and health.
Oh yeah.
Based off their age, rate, and health.
Okay.
Yeah, the amount of money you make has nothing to do with if you can like get the program or get the policy. It's all based off your age, rate, and health. And the longer you wait to get the insurance, the more expensive it gets.
Yeah.
And the older you get, the worse your health becomes. So that's why it's like really important to lock it in when you're young, when it's super dirt cheap, when you're the healthiest, because that's when it's
Right.
going to be the cheapest. Why would you want to overpay for less? Why
Now
would you
they're
wanna
like
pay more for
fitness
less?
testing you'll do on the member, like, oh, let's check your
Like an exam,
yeah.
only for like a large face amount. Like a large face amount. We don't really do like too much like large face amount policies. It's more so like funeral final expense coverage, $30,000 to $50,000 of insurance for final expenses, protecting someone's income. Let's say for a year, 12 months. If someone makes $150,000 a year, we'll funnel it through a term product for $150,000. If they have a mortgage, we'll funnel their mortgage protection through an accidental insurance. You can get a ton of accidental insurance for very cheap.
Mm.
It's like $4 per 50,000. So if you give somebody $200,000 of accidental insurance, it's like $15-16.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that's like the thing with the unions. We really conceptualize the insurance plans for them.
Yeah.
Because they're masters at plumbing and driving truck and putting out fires and chasing bad guys. They're not educated in life insurance. Mm-hmm. So we've simplified it into a simple concept. Hey, when you die, this is what's going to pay her. Hey, if you die in an accident, this is what's going to protect that. Hey,
Right.
if you get cancer, you're going to get paid this. Hey, if you get hurt, you're going to get paid this. The whole insurance mumbo jumbo is confusing. Like right when you hear
It
the word
is.
insurance, you're like, oh, fuck, that's I don't want to talk to my car insurance
Right.
guy. Like
Yeah.
health insurance, oh, that sucks. But like if you simplify it and you conceptualize it to where like average Americans can understand it,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, yeah, I'll do the silver. Silver sounds good. I'll buy the silver.
Wow.
And then you just take it away.
Yep.
Say, Nick, don't let me get ahead of myself here. It's actually not your wallet that qualifies you. It's your health. So I just got to ask a couple more questions. Get up, grab your driver's license. I'm going to try and get you qualified. That's the psychology of the sale. People
Mhm.
want what they can't have.
Mm.
If they feel like they can have it all the time, I'll think about it, man. Leave us your
Right.
business card. Hit us up
Mhm.
in the summer. I don't think we can afford it right now. That's when you get hit with a bunch of bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
There's really only two reasons someone will not buy a life insurance policy. Because let's be honest, if I had to ask you what's the most important thing to you in your life, what would you say? Your girl and your 4 kids
Yeah,
and your dog
family.
and your family.
Yep.
And if I were to ask you how much does your family mean to you, you'd probably say they're priceless.
Priceless.
Can't put a price on our
Yeah,
family.
can't.
The good news is we were able to put a price on protecting them, and that's only $25 a week.
Right.
Grab your driver's license. Let's do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm going to sell
Yeah.
you a policy after this. You need it. You have 4 kids. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
this is what I do.
No,
Yeah.
for real.
This is what I do. So it's like, that's really it, man. Just having like passion and belief in what you do and your product, and people need life insurance.
How do you see the industry evolving as we grow more tech-based, more?
It's gonna be more like virtual. The
Yeah.
good thing is this stuff like ChatGPT and AI, there's like stipulations in the government where a bot cannot sell a financial product.
Yep.
So like people in the financial services are protected.
Nice.
Like I don't know, like in a union, like they're probably gonna come up with robots that manufacture cars. They're already doing it.
Yeah.
So like they're probably like the United Auto Workers, people that work in the Ford plant in Detroit, like they're probably not going to have such great job security in the next couple of years because technology is improving so much. Why would someone want to pay a guy $70,000 a year when he can make a robot for $35,000 that's not going to call in sick, that's not going to come in hungover, it's going to be there 24/7 and do just as good as a job as him, and it has to pay him less than the fucking person?
No brainer.
No brainer.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, not only is the money, the potential income is great, but it's recession and depression proof. People are dying every day. People are being born every day.
Can't stop it.
It's one of the only vehicles where you can transfer financial wealth tax-free to your loved ones. 401ks, they're taxable.
Mm-hmm.
Roths are taxable.
Mm-hmm.
Annuities, CDs, taxable.
Mm-hmm.
Not life insurance.
Isn't that how Rockefeller, was it Rockefeller? One of those guys,
Mm-hmm.
they set up a trust where the beneficiary of all the life insurance policies was the trust.
Okay.
And I guess, I don't want to say something I'm not too knowledgeable about. Something along the lines of Rockefeller, him and his entire family all took out super heavy life insurance policies
Mm-hmm.
to where the beneficiary of every single policy was way back in the trust, and it just circled.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, man. A lot of rappers take out whole life insurance policies because with whole life, you accrue a cash value in interest. So your money's working for you. So it has a death benefit in the form of a life insurance policy if, God forbid, you die, but it also has an investment vehicle built into it. So it's like a savings on steroids. Instead of, your PNC savings where you get 0.1, maybe 0.2% interest at a credit union, right?
Mm-hmm.
With whole life, you're accruing anywhere from 4 to 7% interest every year. So your money's actually growing for you.
Interesting.
And then the longer you pay on the policy, the longer that cash value bucket builds. Let's say that you want to buy a house. You want to get in real estate with Nick. Instead of going to a bank and taking out a loan for $20,000, they're going to charge you interest. Now you have to pay the loan plus the interest and the principal. You borrow it from your whole life insurance policy. You're the bank.
Yeah, you could borrow from
You could
yourself
pay
or
it back or
outside
you don't have to.
bank. that I think that was another layer of what the Rockefellers did is they
That's
would
huge.
borrow against it.
A lot of athletes, a lot of rappers,
Yeah.
people that make a lot of money take out whole life insurance policies.
Yeah, borrow against
Wow.
it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Damn, that's huge.
there's different layers.
Creating
I mean,
generational wealth tax free.
yeah,
Yep.
That's fucking.
They don't teach us this shit in school, dude.
Oh.
they don't teach us shit in school.
No,
Nothing.
nothing.
Nothing. Your brother just took his GED classes, and he told me that in the social studies exam or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that there was like a number of questions that were relating to Donald Trump and interpreting what he said in different speeches. I think that's horseshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you expect a young 20-year-old, 19-year-old to really know about politics, let alone, and why is it centered around Donald Trump? I thought social studies was supposed to be studying like Washington, Jefferson, Madison,
Lincoln.
how this country was built. Sure, 2016, 2020, whatever, all matters,
Mm-hmm.
but not that heavily. And why are you asking him what his speeches dictated in terms of segregation or whatever? I don't know. I don't know why I only thought of that, but we said that the schools don't teach us shit.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of it's a crack of shit, dude. Like, I'm not even gonna get into the whole
Yeah,
politics thing
it's-
in here. You know what I mean?
I think it's all bullshit. It's all a cat and dog show. I
Yeah.
think everything's bullshit, really. What's next for Mitch?
What's next? Keep stacking cheddar. Keep impacting people's lives. Hopefully buy a house here soon
Yeah.
once the market kind of betters itself a little bit.
I recommend it.
Start a family.
You could buy a house cheap.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
just got to figure out where we want to buy.
it's the location that really matters.
We got to figure out where we want to buy. I was a public school kid. She was private. She went to
Oh.
St. Rita her whole life.
Yeah.
I went to public school.
And if you have
Nothing
a
against
kid-
private school. Nothing against private schools, but I knew a couple kids that went to private schools, and those dudes were more fucked up than the public school kids for some reason.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know
I
what
agree.
it is. So like a nice like public school like district is like Aurora, Solon,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Chagrin Falls is nice, but it's very posh. It's like Hudson,
And that's the
You
most
know.
important part if you're gonna buy a house. Is
right?
if you're gonna have family, you gotta have good schools.
Exactly.
You know, that's good. So
Yeah.
buying a house, continuing along, stacking cheddar.
Mm-hmm. Keep working, keep doing
I
things.
mean, that's life, though, right?
Yeah, dude.
Enjoy life, have a family.
It's not a job, dude. A job is short for just over broke. That's what a job is. It's just over broke. This shit that I do, this is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, dude. I breathe, eat, shit, sleep this deal.
I don't know how you remember all of these acronyms and all
This
these.
is what I do, bro. It's not even an acronym. It's just it is
Life.
what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I got a couple more nice ones here for you. Let me pull nice ones here. You can put these in your notes here. Dude, it's just getting people to think a different way. Vision enhances thoughts. I got this from Deion Sanders today. I put this on my story. Vision enhances thoughts. Thoughts produce action, and action establishes results. If you don't have vision, you will perish, says it in the Bible. Couldn't be more spot on when it comes to a sales job. If you don't have a vision and you don't see where you want to take this thing, the trials and tribulations are going to hit you so hard in the gut, you're going to eventually throw in the towel. The no's are going to hurt so bad because your vision isn't big enough.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a vision big enough and you know what you want and you're very clear with your vision and you know how you need to get there, then you just got to work the plan the work.
Mm-hmm.
But most people have no vision. And those are the people that don't succeed in this business because they
Right.
wake up like, oh, I got to make phone calls today. Another day making phone calls. Oh, I hope somebody buys a policy. They have no vision. But like if you have a vision, you know exactly what you want, you know why you want it, and you know exactly what you need to sacrifice to get it. When you get told no, you're like, SW, SW, SWN. Some will, some won't. So what? Next.
Say that again.
I was right.
Say that again for them and for me as well, but mainly for them.
SW, SW, SWN. Some will, some won't. So what? Next.
Nice.
That is
It's life, bro. The girl, you got this date coming up. I hope it goes well. If it doesn't,
Tuesday.
some will,
She's texting
some won't.
she's texting
So
me right
what? Next. You know,
fire.
the client that you're pitching a life insurance policy to, they want to they didn't want to buy what you're selling. Some will, some won't. So what? Next.
now. Nice.
That's fucking
Next, dude.
That's good.
next.
You know,
Yeah.
on to the next.
I would almost expect no's. Like I'm just like, yeah, fuck it.
See, for us,
They're coming.
for us guys, I feel like it's easier to kind of comprehend how to succeed in a business like this where you're predominantly told no more than you're told yes.
Right.
It's like we've all been to a bar before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're at a bar. Let's just say we're at Game On in Lakewood. It's a Friday night or it's a Saturday night like tonight. We step out, we get a couple drinks, whatever. Let's say we're all single. Chrissy. Let's say we're all single, right? There's a girl.
Hypothetical situation.
Hypothetical, okay? Hypothetically speaking. We're at the bar. There's a girl that I see at the bar. I go up there, I take my shot. She swerves me. Do I say, all right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going home. Have a good night.
No.
I'm out. I'm done.
No.
What do? You get another beer. You're like, fuck that bitch.
Yep.
There's another baddie over there.
Yeah.
Next.
I'm going to go take my shot over there. Next.
Yep.
And then eventually, the dude who gets told no the most times is the one who ends up lucky that night.
Yeah.
So whoever gets the most no's makes the most dough. That's Marcus Smith. That's one of my mentors. Whoever gets told no, whoever gets the most no's during the week makes the most dough during the week.
Damn, that's huge.
It's an activity chasing game. People think it's about making sales. It is making sales, but if you're getting the activity, you'll automatically make sales because we have a product that everybody needs.
Yep.
So just get out there and get told no 8 times, and then the other 4 times you get told yes. You make $500 during each yes. You're like, dude, I don't even think about the no's anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the no phone calls are shorter than the yes phone calls.
Exactly.
Boom, done.
Exactly. Like the no's motivate me. Like when people tell me no, I'm like, fuck yes, I'm that much closer to my next yes.
Yep.
But when the average people are like, oh no, dude, this isn't for me, bro. I don't know if I could do this, Mitch. I don't think I could do this, man. I
You've already failed.
don't think sales is for me. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's all right, bro. Amazon's hiring. You know, Bezos is growing. Amazon's hiring. It's ain't for everybody, kid.
Yep.
And then they're like, well, wait, what do you mean? You know, they're like, well, don't give up on me.
Yeah.
It's like,
Gave
dude,
up on yourself.
you can't be a bitch, dude. Like one of the main things that I was told when I first started this business, it's like, what's one of the key pointers you can give someone brand new in this business? What's some good advice? Brent Bowling is one of my good friends till this day. He said, don't be a pussy. And for some reason, something clicked in my head. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like overthinking the pitch. I'm overthinking the product. I'm overthinking the close. I'm overthinking the rebuttals. He said, don't be a pussy. And then like the light bulb went off. And I'm like, you know, I was being a bitch. Don't be a pussy. And then that week I went out and I dropped like 4K. Nothing changed in my presentation. Nothing changed in my pitch. But I just kept telling myself, don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy. Just kept going.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's so simple, right? But it's not easy.
So you got to be mentally resilient.
Yeah, dude. 100%, man.
But you have to be that way in everything.
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Everything.
Yep.
Mitch, it's been a hell of a conversation, man.
Yeah, dude. This
For real,
was a great time.
Hour and 45 minutes right now.
Yeah, this was fun.
This is the longest one we've done so
Longest
far.
one.
Really?
Fire.
Right on.
Before we close, there's
Yeah.
a segment that we always do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then after we do the segment, I'm having you do the little chop up thingy because we got some
got
bullshit
you.
we do here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This thing's actually really fucking cool. It's got a
Oh,
bunch of
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
stuff. But before we do that, the last
Yeah.
segment, I have this book right here. It's called The Complete Life's Little Instruction Book, okay? And it goes numbers 1. I believe the last number is like 1600.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask you to give me a number from 1 to 1600. And then I'm going to hand you this book. You're going to find that number. You're going to read it, and we're going to talk about it.
'Kay.
What's the number?
888.
888. It's a good book, too. I recommend getting it.
Remember that ignorance is expensive.
Now let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
How do you interpret that?
So I'm in sales, right?
Mm.
You can't sell ignorance. You can't close a door that's not open. Some people are not going to be willing to hear you out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a no.
Mm-hmm.
So then you just get excited, like, yes, I got the no. I'm closer to the yes. Ignorance is expensive. You can't sell ignorance, dude. It's hard to talk to people that are ignorant, too. Think of how many people are so ignorant right now. The Democratic Party is what it is. When Trump had his... I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just like a lot of it now is just like common sense. But common sense isn't so common
Yeah.
anymore.
Not at
That
all.
kid, that black kid who had brain cancer,
Yeah,
not one freaking Democrat stood up and clapped.
I know.
Or how about the father that threw himself in front of his daughters and his wife to protect the bullets from when President Trump was shot at? He
Yep.
died. Not one person clapped.
I know.
Like Trump even said, he's like, if I came up with the cure of cancer, these people wouldn't even clap.
Yep.
It's ignorant, dude.
I know.
Yeah, very.
The way
Should be ashamed.
that's amazing. It's a good look on it. The way that I interpret that
Mm-hmm.
is the cost of ignorance is expensive. It's expensive because you're missing out on what could be.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know about X, Y, and Z, you're missing out on what that could be. If you're ignorant towards being successful at your job, if you're ignorant towards maintaining a good relationship, if you're ignorant towards maintaining good family practices, it's expensive to you because you're missing the cost of what it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I interpret it. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
it's only expensive because you're missing out on what it could be.
It's costing you.
It's costing you
Yeah.
more than knowing.
That's fair.
You know?
Yeah.
How do you interpret that?
Jesus. Ignorance is expensive.
A little bit of both, really?
Like it's like the whole like thing
Just
like
like
poor people overlooking opportunities repeatedly. That's why they're poor.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
why people are poor. Because people overlook opportunities repeatedly. They think it's a scam.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they stay poor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I recruit someone, they're like, I don't want to be part of your pyramid scheme. And I'm like, dude, like, okay, it's a pyramid, but name a business that's not structured in a pyramid where it has to be solid on the foundation all the way to the top. McDonald's is a pyramid structure.
everything is
Apple is a pyramid structure.
Every business.
The United States government is a pyramid structure. Schools are pyramid structures. You have your custodian, then you have your English teacher, your science teacher, your math teacher, the vice president or the vice principal, then the
Mhm.
principal.
Yeah.
It's all structured.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wide and then narrow.
Yeah.
Everything. And those are the people that are going to miss out on opportunities because they think everything is just like a scam. It's crazy.
Yeah. They don't
Everything is a scam.
Still confused about money. Scam. Still confused about money. Scam. People that think fucking selling insurance is a scam.
This
Still
guy.
confused about money. Like,
Guy's
dude,
next level. Okay.
I mean, like, come on.
I see why you're crushing it, bro.
But dude, like,
Absolutely.
you could spell those fucking 3-4 words. Still confused about money. Like, it's not hard to conceptualize. It's like it's the real deal.
You're
Like,
crushing
so
it,
you'd
bro.
rather stay poor than try out something that could change your fucking life forever? What do you have to lose? $120 to get the license? If you fail and you suck, you're right back to your fucking podcast. You're right back to real estate. You're right back to your job. You're right back there.
Going right back.
Still confused about money. People that think things are a scam.
2 hours on the Wishful Thinking Podcast with Mitch Mickovic. It's been a pleasure, bro.
Dude, this was great.
This is great.
This was great. Absolutely.
Hadley, give us some mixing on the way out.
Yeah. I'll hit the double.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? Nick O'Connor, Wishful Thinking Podcast. Let's fucking get
What's
it, baby.
going on? It's HB, and you're listening to the Wishful Thinking Podcast.
Yeah, that's wishful thinking.